Hola, bienvenidos! It's finally BRB race day in Mexico City, and what better way to spend Cinco de Mayo on the iRacing.com sim than this 45-lap contest at Mexico City. The Whiplash SimCam's Grand Prix de Mexico is set to run for, as I mentioned, 45 laps around this historic twisting circuit, and we can't wait to get things started. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Mexico City, Mexico. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Sundance Pro Series once again. Tonight's coverage from Mexico for the Whiplash SimCam's Grand Prix is brought to you by Sundance Pizza, by MX Wraps, and by the BRB Racing League. Zach, I really truly love this racetrack. I honestly, before NASCAR went here, I really didn't know much about it. So credit to NASCAR, I think, opening more people up to this racetrack, including myself. I didn't know much about this place. Now that it's on iRacing, now that I've had a chance to drive it myself and do a few broadcasts, this is our third broadcast, actually fourth broadcast here technically. I love this place. Whether it's the Oval, the Grand Prix circuit, this national circuit here today, I really, really enjoy this racetrack.
It's a fun track. I haven't really done too much in terms of research, I'll say, when it comes to this track, but I do know that NASCAR used to run here back in the day. Obviously they brought it in for the Cup Series not too long ago. Obviously it was a one and done type deal, as they'll be moving to San Diego this year, but this track has offered a really different perspective on road course racing for me, because while it may have elevation change here and there, this track is relatively flat. And I mean completely flat. If you saw, I don't know where I'm going with this one, but it's flat. There's no banking, there's no off-camber corners like at, say, Watkins Glen or Sonoma, typical road courses that NASCAR visits. This is a weird standout type deal, and they're using the national layout, which is what NASCAR used when they brought the Busch Series here in the early to mid 2000s. So we're still sticking with the status quo in a way, but we're still branching out into something new.
Definitely a circuit that has plenty of, I guess, repertoire within NASCAR over the last 20 or so years. Getting right into things, though, of course, there's a look at the track map. Let's take a look at the schedule and see how we've gotten here so far. Daytona, Dover, and New Hampshire to kick the season off. A week off last week, and here we are at Mexico City this evening. 45 laps tonight. Then it's out to Texas next week. So relatively close to Mexico. I mean, still, it's a hike. But thankfully, we can go anywhere in an instant here on iRacing. Then it's the Daytona Road Course, Indianapolis, and Iowa for our opening portion of the season. I'm excited. A lot of great racetracks coming up. This also kicks off the first round of the BRB Bracket Brawl, and I'm excited to see how this goes this season. This is the round of 32, so we won't have any fancy colors on the ticker just yet. We'll begin that at Texas next week with the round of 16. It's really just classic seating, 1v32, 2v31, that kind of thing, with a few substitutions in for drivers that couldn't make it here tonight. That said, Zach, we have got drivers ready to talk to us as per usual, and we're kicking off with one of not quite the best driver to do it ever in BRB on a road course, but really freaking close. Mason Houseman. The stat lines for you, they are plenty. I mean, they are deep. There's a lot to back up why you should win this race tonight. But do you expect to? Obviously, you've kind of been away from things a little bit, doing your own thing, obviously getting into the Air Force and such. So do you expect to win this race with all those stats behind you?
I feel like the safe answer is to say no. I mean, obviously, I'm a racer at heart. I'd like to win. But, I mean, I only have really 30 minutes of track practice, and I'm more used to racing these types of tracks on Thursdays with NARL, so it's been definitely a shift. I will say it doesn't help the fact that the track's 126 degrees, and I had to relearn my H pattern to kind of get that situated again. But you know, I'd like to say I'm gonna try to go for the win, but the main goal here is just to make my presence known and help out, teach my my younger driver Jourdain a couple of good lessons that I haven't really been able to teach him very much. So, but I'm here to try to do it now.
I think Zach might have stepped away, but we see the stats there at the bottom of the screen. 6.3 average finish across your 6 starts here on road courses within BRB. 4 wins in those 6 races, 5 top 10s. And this is the kind of staggering one for me. 216 laps led. That is 62% of the laps that you have completed on a road course within BRB that you have led. That's a pretty large number. That's pretty up there. So, you know, of course, we have the fantasy game now, and guys, I think, are starting to realize maybe this is the guy to go for the win tonight. Even though you're kind of maybe treading in some deep water, you still have all the stats to back you up. Is that any extra pressure, knowing that guys are kind of looking to you to save their own fantasy teams?
I mean, I'm not normally a stat man. Obviously, that the amount of laps led makes me kind of feel bad because holy crap, that's a lot of time behind a wheel. But I don't know. I think I might be a good pick as a wild one. I don't know if the consistency might be there because obviously I'm trying to relearn the car. I tell you what, Andrew, tonight these tires are gonna matter, especially with the heat we have. Normally with these cars, you can run about the same laps almost every lap with these tires, but once that I don't know, 3rd lap comes in, these tires start to fall off hard and quick. It's like a 7/10 drop off I've seen. So we'll definitely see tonight what I have in store. But obviously I'm going to certainly try and give it my best run. So I mean, if you want to choose from me, feel free to do it. But please don't yell at me if I don't do good.
Well, Mason, it's good to check in with you again as you make your first start of the season, potentially only start of the season. I mean, I know you're a busy guy now, of course, helping run the team at Spirit Racing. And I say helping run the team. You do run the team. And, you know, doing your GT3 stuff with NARL and obviously everything going on in real life. What is going on in real life for you right now?
Well, kind of school. I got finals coming up next week, so I've been really kind of focusing on that. That's why I wasn't there last week with NARL. I had a test that I absolutely bombed, but it's okay. We move on. And then I got military. I got fun orders this summer, so hopefully I'll still be stateside, so we will still be fine there. So you'll still see me in P Cup, but yeah, it's kind of just living my life, trying to understand it a little bit more, especially in this adulthood. I'm still only 21, so I'm still learning a lot that I need to learn. So, but we're getting there eventually, and yeah, I'm happy to be behind the wheel tonight.
And we've got permission to pull you during green, right?
Oh, of course.
Sounds good.
Just don't be mad if I have funny banter. Like, wow, that was a good re-entry.
Fair enough.
No, I'm more than happy to talk to you guys during green.
We'll definitely have to pull you at some point here, Mason. Hey, best of luck. Hopefully we're talking to you later on, and not just during green flag.
Yes, thanks, boys.
Mason Hausman there, of course, with Spirit Racing, entering in kind of a one-off entry, and we're going over to kind of an affiliated teammate to Mason this evening. That's going to be Carl Pooler as our second driver we're talking to this evening. And Carl, we just spoke to the guy in the race, at least tonight, who's got the best road course stats of anybody, of course, Mason Hausman. The 4 wins across 6 starts, that's pretty staggering. I'll be honest, though, I was pretty surprised looking at stat lines earlier today. You've got some of the better stats of full-time active drivers that have multiple road course starts in this series. Does that surprise you to hear?
You know, it doesn't. I have really enjoyed the road racing more, not just in the league, but on the service. And I love doing the endurance events, and I've been trying to get better at road racing. And I think I've been able to take some of that and put towards to some of my oval racing. So it doesn't surprise me at all. It does make me a little more confident that I can pull out a decent finish. I had a rough couple of races to start the season. I rebounded last 2 weeks ago at New Hampshire with a top 10, so I'm hoping I can get a top 10 out of this tonight and hopefully get further up in the points than where I'm at currently.
And then going into Mexico, obviously the bracket brawl is starting here. Do you feel like that adds any pressure into trying to perform on the road course, maybe trying to find some extra speed to maybe advance in the bracket brawl?
I think it does, because there's two different races, really, because first you have the overall race, you have the stage, the points, and all that stuff. But now you add the bracket brawl, and you have a car. You're looking for a single car, a single number that you just want to beat. And at least me, I'm hugely competitive, and I really like the bracket brawl and how this is all arranged. And, you can be racing, and if you hear someone having an issue on track, you're just kind of like, unfortunately, that's not me. Is it the car I'm racing? And I think it's fun. I think it's a fun little thing we have going on, and it does add a little bit of a different complexity, a different intensity, because, like I said, you have the people look at the big picture, and then, of course, if you're winning, you're fast, you beat your person in the bracket ball, but you also, if you're mid-pack or back-pack or something like that, you're looking for the driver. Like, I'm up against, with some revisions, Evan Patinko. Me and Evan Patinko have the most starts of the entire league. There's a great a rivalry there, as it were. I don't know if it's a rivalry, but it's a good competition. Richard and Brendan are matched up against each other, and I think we've seen their aggressiveness against each other on track, so that's going to be interesting to watch and see. The bracket is fun. It definitely adds a little bit of a different intensity. You just have to race it to feel it.
And of course, beyond just that, we do obviously have the chase this season that you want to go for. So obviously, yes, you're racing against Evan. You're racing just the race as a whole with some new drivers and new players, even a one-off starter here this evening. But in the grand scheme of things, in the overall, I guess, view of the season, right, what's the goal tonight? Do you want to get some stage points? Do you want to kind of sit around and just try to work on the overall finish with your strategy? I mean, what is the game plan?
Points. Last season, I got into the chase by the skin of my teeth, and that's one thing that I really struggled with, getting those stage points. And I'm kind of right back there, but not for lack of trying. I qualified really well at both Daytona and Dover. I qualified really well and got wrecked out in the first stage. And already I'm feeling that the points deficits of not getting those extra points in the stage. So if I can capitalize on points, any points I can get right now, I think that's where my focus is, because that chase, it seems, 12 races is a long time, but you get halfway through the season or 3/4 through the season, and you're like, man, all this time has passed by. I need to buckle down, and you can't just sit on and wait. You really have to buckle down through the season. So yeah, it's definitely a different focus for me personally with my chase situation. So I think points, and unfortunately, points may actually trump the way I perform in the brawl tonight. So we'll see how that goes.
Hey, Carl, good to check out with you as always. Best of luck tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you later.
Hey, you guys too. Good luck. Have fun. And let's put on a good show. I think we have the opportunity here.
Absolutely. That's Carl Pooler racing, of course, with Maverick Racing. Move him back up to his teammates and let him get ready to go racing this evening. Zach, it is good to be here again in virtual Mexico City for the MXWraps.com pre-race show ahead of tonight's Whiplash SimCam's Grand Prix de Mexico. Next order of business, of course, is on down to power rankings, fantasy picks, all that good stuff. Let's just get to it then. I'm excited to actually look at these power rankings. They're a little bit different from what you might be expecting coming into this evening, and there you go. Coulter Clark is officially on top of the series now. That's pretty big, I feel like, for him to officially be the top driver by these power rankings. I think that's a big statement. It makes sense. He's got 2 straight wins to open the season up. I mean, of course, finished decently at Daytona as well, but Dover and New Hampshire belonged to Coulter Clark, and I mean, he's in the running. He's 5th in practice right now. I don't know that he wins this thing, Zach, but I certainly think he's going to mix it up towards the front.
Oh, he absolutely will. He's done a stand-up job of being there when it counts. I mean, obviously, 2 weeks ago, when we were sitting here watching New Hampshire unfold, he was the driver who was there when it counted. When the fast guys started kind of taking each other out a little bit, but things have really worked out in his favor, I will say. I mean, we've got 2 guys moving on to the power rankings as well. In adjacent to that, you've got Kyle Clank and Dustin Stallings moving up on the power rankings. Previously, they weren't ranked, and now they're sitting there 9th and 10th on the board. You've got guys like Fritz and Parent moving down. Parent not here tonight. So I think we'll see the power ranking shake up a little bit more as well.
Oh yeah, I can tell you, Dustin Stallings is just 0.009 ahead of Richard Wolfsfer for that 10th spot technically. So it is very, very close. So there are a lot of drivers lined up right behind 10th place that, with a couple of drivers missing, like Kyle Clank and Josh Parent missing the race tonight, Zach Hall not here again, as he's part-time basis now. I mean, things are going to change on this graphic, and I think Hall might still be in the top 10 next week into Texas, but after that, I think he'll be out of it, and that's just part of it. Obviously, he's not racing, so he'll slowly sink on down, but I think it's definitely evident that we have three favorites right now. Those are the 4, the 5, and the 75, Coulter Clark, Adam Buzzio, and Johnny Wood Jr., so I'm obviously excited to see how they do here this evening at Mexico City. And as far as the fantasy game goes, if you're brand new, if you've been living under a rock maybe, and don't know what this is, the Pit Stop TV Discord does have a new fantasy game brought to you by Whiplash Creative and MX Wraps and TZO Designs this season. There are some free prizes up for grabs. We'll talk more about that later on. What you need to know is there is still time. You can still join the Pit Stop TV Discord. There's the Discord link there at the bottom of this graphic. I'm going to go grab an invite link quickly, actually, from the server and just pop that in YouTube chat. So if you're new, you can still get in. You can still make picks tonight. You can still join the game. Picks are open, let's see, until... I'll tell you what, they're actually set to close 3 minutes ago. I'm going to extend that, Zach. If you get your picks in by the end of qualifying, which should be 9:10 tonight, you can play. So that's some extra time. You've got until 9:10, the end of qualifying, to make your picks to join this fantasy game. Pick whoever you'd like. That said, there's some basic rules. Basically, there's 3 points groups of drivers, the top 8, the next 8, and then the rest. You pick one from each, you pick a stage winner, you pick a race winner, that's it. It's absolutely free, no strings attached, just get in, pick your team, we'll figure the rest out later. It's a lot of fun to do, and I really invite, I know there's a lot of you GTM guys watching from Jordane's world. Join this, play the game, pick Jordane even, pick whoever you like, play this, support your favorite drivers, and just have some fun and have a little more to watch for this evening. Even if something happens to Jordane, whether it's tonight or any week, have a little more skin in the game. Should be a lot of fun. And with that said, Zach, let's take a look at the fantasy standings coming into this evening. You're off this thing. You haven't been picking lately. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. There we go. You've not... Oh, no, you are on it. It's Nora you fell off of. You haven't been picking in Nora, but also you did lose the points lead here. Josh Conover now on top, and look at all the green. A bunch of us moved up. I'm finally on this graphic now. Super's on this graphic. Carl Pooler moved up. So it's good to see some movement here. We're going to see a lot more movement. There will be drop weeks as well, so don't feel bad if you missed a couple of weeks. You can still get into it. There's still time to get in. In fact, I'll tell you what, if you join tonight, I'll do 3 drop weeks. That gives you a completely clean slate to get into this thing and still be competitive, but you've got to join tonight to keep up with that. And there will be a chase even, so even if you do miss tonight, you can still get in and potentially make the chase and fight in that. So, again, fantasy game, fantasy game, fantasy game.
I'm passing Josh Conover.
We'll see. Time will tell. I certainly hope I do well tonight. My team, let me go back up. Who did I finalize on? Coulter Clark, Brendan Maddox, Brady Motes with the pick of Houseman to win the stage and the race. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see how this goes for us all this evening. It's been a lot of fun. Again, you GTM guys, I know you're watching. I know it. I see some of you in chat. Get in here. Some of you family that always watches, get in here. Donna Lee, if you're watching, make Gavin figure it out for you. I don't know, but should be a lot of fun as we carry on through the rest of the season. And a big shout out, while we're talking about it, to our partners with the series as we get into qualifying here this evening and into Best of Show. Here's a look at our partners with the series. Of course, Sundance Pizza, the namesake of the BRB Sundance Pro Series, alongside MXWraps.com, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business. And our partners here at the channel, we've got a longer list of them than ever before. Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. Qualifying is beginning. We did take a brief look, Zach, at the weather conditions earlier. I want to do so again as this qualifying session opens up. There you see 123-degree track temp. The ambient temp is not bad. It's all this straight sunlight beating down on this racing surface. It says partly cloudy, but you can see around the racetrack there aren't that many. The track is in full sunlight currently. We might get a few clouds here and there, but as it stands, a lot of direct sunlight on this racetrack. It's making it hot for these guys. And here we go, into qualifying. Drivers on the racetrack, and Zach, it's time for MX Rap's Best in Show here at the beginning of this qualifying session. And I'll be honest, this is an easy one for me. I don't care what anybody says. This is a nomination for me. I'm just going to go first. This is 100% playing the theme and everything. There's not even a theme for this race. We did Cars theme last race in New Hampshire, but this is cool for Richard Wolsifer. I really like what he's done here. This is leaning into Cinco de Mayo and into just Mexico City in general. This is really, really cool. It might make a little more sense maybe for Dia de los Muertos in November, but it is still super cool. Big time effort to Richard Wolsifer there. Proud of him for this one. Do you have a pick you want to get in real quick?
I gotta start learning most of this stuff. I'm dating someone who's Hispanic. I can't be slacking on my knowledge, but because I don't understand half of what you're saying. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So Dia de los Muertos is just Day of the Dead. It's the day after Halloween.
Okay, that makes more sense then, kinda. But I think for one of my picks for Best in Show, I'm going to have to go with Rusty Rafferty. Yes. That car looks absolutely sick. I mean, look at it. It flows so nicely. I love it. 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 I don't know. There's something about it. Red, white, and blue flows together for a multitude of reasons. It makes you think of so many different things. I love it. It was one of the first ones that I saw when I got in the session, and it stuck with me. It looks really good.
Thanks. I painted it. It's a cool one. I'm glad we got it done for Rusty. It is a throwback, actually, to Rick Wilson's number 8 Snickers car from the 90s. So it was pretty cool to bring to life. I'm glad we got it done for him today. Looking throughout the rest of the field, I've looked through a bunch of the field already. I think I'm legally obligated to do this one. We've got GTM guys watching, and this is a new edition of the Jourdain White GTM special. I'm kind of legally obligated, I think, to go ahead and nominate him, and I know he's got a very dedicated community watching along this evening, so this is for you guys.
You're just giving the public what they want.
I'm a man of the people, what can I say? Who you got?
There's so many good ones to pick through. I'm kind of flipping through. I'm looking at Plord. I'm looking at Moats. I'm looking at Patinko, Johnny Wood Jr., Coulter Clark. There was one I saw earlier, and I can't seem to find it again.
Whoa! This is cool for Stephen Borbell. This is different.
Ooh.
Contigo, that's got to be one of the brands of Performance Food Group. I like that.
I'm still looking through.
You got 30 seconds. I'm picking for you, brother.
You can't just put me on the spot like that. Well, you can, but I swiftly and wholeheartedly.
Well, as Zach figures that out, you see times rolling in qualifying here. Cameron Taylor, fastest there on lap 1. These drivers get 2 laps. Dustin Stallings second quick as Taylor's working into the stadium section now. Here's Stallings working out of the stadium section. Jourdain White goes fastest. He's up onto pole position for now. What can Stallings do around to the line? The 00 Season 4 champion to the stripe. Can he go faster? Answer is... we don't know. It's waiting. Waiting. The time is not finalized. No, he does not go any faster. And so, Cameron Taylor to the line. Let's see what the 00 can do. You're beyond your 30 seconds, Zach. Who you got?
I am going to go with Zach Maddox, actually. It's an interesting paint scheme. Haven't seen it before. I kind of like it. It's got a nice ring to it. Nice look to it.
It is a special for this evening. I forget what the brand is called on the hood, but that is, I believe...
Aero Mexico.
Yeah, there you go. Aero Mexico. I had seen it already. He teased it to us in the MX Wraps admin chat. And yeah, I believe that is a... I don't know if it's a Mexican airline or just a Mexican aeronautics company.
No, it's a Mexican airline.
That's what I thought.
They fly international flights. We actually have a few that come into Raleigh-Durham International Airport, which is the airport that is closest to my residence. We've got a lot of different types of, well, I don't want to say different types of airports, but we've got quite a few airports that have some national recognition over in the North Carolina area. Obviously, you're a little bit closer to the Charlotte airport, which tends to see quite a bit more flights than Raleigh-Durham.
Jordan White across the line does not go faster lap 2, but he will stay on provisional pole for now. Brendan Maddox, I think these guys are actually getting 3 laps tonight, Zach. I thought they'd only get 2 as per usual.
3
but
laps, 10 minutes.
They're getting 3. Let's see what Maddox can do out of turn 15 to the stripe. That was a little sideways. I think that's going to wash this lap. Hayden Perkins is looking good too.
Slower.
Yeah, that's not great for Brendan there. Let's see what Houseman can do. Here's his onboard. Let's listen in a little bit. He's still early in the lap. That's turns 1, 2, and 3. That's grass. I think he just got an off track or even a wall contact. I think that lap is going to be a wash for him.
For the track, it's really, really tight. It's hard to get an off track there, to be perfectly honest. I thought anything past the white line, because that's how it usually is. If you dip all 4 tires past the white line before the rumble strips, that is considered track limits. But hey, this is NASCAR style racing. We don't concern ourselves with track limits.
Have you seen, you have seen the track, we talked about it at length yesterday. The track limits for Watkins Glen this week would beg to differ with you, Zach, but anyways, as far as Mexico City goes, yeah, pretty relaxed track limits here. Let's see, can Jourdain go even faster at the back end here of qualifying? Let's see his run to the stripe. Trying to beat a 132.446. He's already on pole, but he will go faster. 132.293, but it does not count. He invalidated that lap somewhere along the way, so that would be why it was so much faster.
Mason Houseman coming back to the stripe right now. Let's see if he is going to take pole position. Across the start finish line of 32.395. How
is it
about
going to
that,
count?
ladies and
Yes. He didn't get an off track, didn't get a wall contact. That is provisional pole now for Jourdain White's boss, Mason Houseman.
Boss man showing him how to get it done.
Some others that are still qualifying. Stephen Borbell on the number 2. Here he comes to the stripe. His best lap is a 134.442, 2 seconds off of pole. He will pick up. That should bump him just into the top 10. Very close, actually. It will still be 11th place, though. So he got faster, just not fast enough. Here's Scott Fritz and a few others on the racetrack.
Not too many left to turn qualifying laps. Mason Houseman is on his 3rd lap. Eric Jensen is coming to the start-finish line now to complete his 3rd lap. Stallings has completed his laps, but is sitting on the pit lane. Everything just kind of falling into play a little bit, we'll say. Jensen comes across the stripe at 37.3. That will end his run. So we've still got Houseman, Fritz, Plord, Quayle, William Maple Jr. Those are the only cars left on the racetrack to complete their qualifying.
Dakota Bly is on the track, but he is in extra laps, so this lap will not count towards his run. Here's William Maple across the line, a 150. My, that is a little off. Is that maybe an out lap? Yeah, I think that might have been an out lap for him. So he's now embarking on lap number 3 to begin his final attempt at a qualifying lap. Here's Quayle across the line, teammate to Jourdain White and Mason Houseman. That lap does not seem to have counted it either, so scratch that for him. And then here's Scott Fritz out of turn 15 to the line. What's he got? A blink, apparently.
No. Qualifying just ended.
Oh! Buzzer beater, not good enough. That'll do it to end qualifying here this evening. How about that? Scott Fritz not able to get a lap time in there for his final lap. And that, of course, brings us to the end of tonight's MXWraps.com pre-race show. Head over to mx-wraps.com for all of your iRacing wrap needs. You might even be able to get a paint scheme made by yours truly, yes, me. Otherwise, Brendan Maddox, Zach Maddox, yeah, they do a good job too. But excited to be here, Zach. This is a really, really cool place. Once again, I'm excited for this. This is definitely branching out a little bit for this series, and I'm excited to see how it goes here this evening. Before we get too far into things, I want to see how the weather has progressed. The track temp is a little bit lower right now. The start of the race might be a little better for these guys, but don't worry. Once they get a couple laps in, that track temp is going to rise right back up, and that's going to be a hot, slick track. It still is a hot, slick track, but it's going to still go even higher over the course of the evening. And the in-sim date and time, May 15th at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's the hottest part of the day. It's going to stay hot the rest of this race today, and we haven't even gotten this thing started. Let's go ahead and meet your starting grid this evening. On pole, how about, let's see if this works. Oh, the times don't want to load. That's all right. Mason Houseman on pole in car number 69. He'll lead us to the green alongside his teammate and protege, Jordan White, the Jamaican sensation, the Jordan train. Let's see what he's got here this evening, Zach. I'm excited to see if he can finally get himself a BRB win. Back in row number 2, though, Cameron Taylor and Coulter Clark. And I'm not trying to lean too far into anything right now, Zach, but I know the 83 and the 4 have some feelings about last night's practice race, so that should make for interesting television down to turn 1 on lap 1. It's an all-Toyota top 6 as Dustin Stallings and Brendan Maddox will start from row number 3, just ahead of a couple of Fords in Caden Perkins and Brady Motes. And your top 10 is rounded off by Adam Buzzio and Richard Wolsifer.
Outside the top 10, you'll find Stephen Borbell and Cody Smith in row number 6, and then right behind them, 13th and 14th on the grid, you'll find Carl Pooler and Jake Christenberry. They're looking to hopefully find a little bit more pace out of today. 15th and 16th on the starting grid tonight, you'll find Zach Maddox and Johnny Wood Jr., and then in row number 9, you'll find Ben Kinney and Rusty Rafferty, 2 Whiplash drivers there, looking for a good run. And then right behind them to round out your top 20, it's going to be Eric Jensen and Scott Fritz in 19th and 20th position.
This long run down the front straightaway to turn number 1 as they begin their formation lap. Evan Batinko, Jamie Plord from row number 11 ahead of Dakota Bly. And while you're on here, Zach, that's not right. On back to row 13, you'll find Gray Walker and Jacob Quayle. Quayle should move up a row, and then William Maple Jr. will tag the back end of the field in our 26-car race as Revan Gurr also registered as a driver. He is our race controller here this evening and in all BRB races. So, 45 laps, that's the distance. Whiplash SimCam's race details on your screen. 109 miles just about. The stage will be complete at the end of lap 15. And of course, if it's a 45-lap race, that means we have 30 to the end for stage number 2. 4 change sets for these guys. They shouldn't need them. We will see at least, I would think at least 1 tire change, maybe even 2. We shouldn't need anything beyond that. 70% fuel rather. Thick setup racing, 3 green-white checkers. Again, shouldn't need them, but technically they are available if we have a track blocking crash. And if we're going to get one tonight, it's going to happen in this section up here more than likely. Either right here in the S's or later on in the stadium section. One of the 2.
It should be a fun one. I will say we've got 2 drivers as well starting from the pit lane. Gray Walker, I think, was having maybe some connection issues or something going on because he'll be starting from the pit lane. He had a couple of ins and outs into the session, and then William Maple Jr. is also elected to start from the pit lane, not having been able to set a qualifying lap. So, you know, these guys are going to be at a disadvantage as we roll through the race until we get to the first stage. That's going to be a wild way to try and find some pace as Mason Houseman is going across the
cheesing the tires a bit is what he's doing.
And doing some little tire cheesing. It's iRacing's track model tends to favor tire cheesing.
Do you prefer Gouda or Parmesan? Provolone, mozzarella, what is it for you, Zach?
Mozzarella.
Queso fresco,
I'm a basic
maybe
fan.
even. Well, here we go. We've got 45 laps on tap here this evening. Thanks for joining us for this season's edition of the Whiplash SimCam's Grand Prix de Mexico. Problems here in the stadium section. Uh-oh, this isn't good. These guys just trying to get to the green flag. Maybe next time these guys should do a standing start. Here they go. Mason Houseman gonna lead us to the green. Let's turn the music down and turn the engines up. Full throttle down to turn number 1. Let's go. 45 laps down in Mexico City. Mason Houseman leading us to the green. BRB in Mexico. Green flag on Cinco de Mayo. That's a whole lot of Toyotas out of turn 1. Jordan White taking points. Mason Houseman falling back a little bit. This is where it could get crazy. That's Coulter Clark straight to the inside.
He goes straight on, makes it through. They're 3-4 wide. We've got one car off. Mason Houseman, he's off into the grass. Where did he go? He's sitting there.
I think he junked it.
His throttle broke.
Wow.
And that throws out every single fantasy lineup that had Mason Houseman on there. I had him picked to win.
Jordan deep into turn 4.
Lap number 1.
Jordan went deep there to turn number 4. That allowed Maddox to get alongside. Jordan takes second back over. Clark is driving away from these guys. Looks like the 83 is holding the 23 up slightly. Here we go. Into turn 9. Oh my gosh, that was close. Cameron Taylor right behind Brendan Maddox. It's going to be a run down to the stadium section. Maddox looking to the right. He thought about it, thought better of it. Cameron Taylor holds back as well. So your front runner is clean through just about the entire first lap. Here we go, though. Maddox to the inside of White there into the stadium section. First apex. Here we go. Switchback. Turn 14. Maddox has got that spot. He shoves his way through. And lap 1 will go complete on our first road course of the season here in BRB.
Here comes one of the Blackbird cars in Cameron Taylor in that number 42. He's going to try to find his way past Jordan White. We got a spinner off of the last corner back towards the pit lane. Somebody was smoking. Yeah, that's not a way you want to start a race there, buddy.
No, it's not. Coulter Clark down to turn number 1 already. And these guys all just filing in through. Really, the only excitement there on lap 1 was Mason Houseman, and he's out of it. So there goes my stage and win pick.
Well, at least I still have my stage pick reserved for Brendan Maddox. Actually, wait, did I pick Brendan Maddox to win the stage?
Oh, hello, Cameron Taylor into the right rear of Jordan White. Brady Moat's loose right behind. He's got Cody Smith on his back bumper. They got ahead of Dustin Stallings on the start. Taylor bullying the 83 just a little bit. Side-by-side racing, a couple of cars off. Cody Smith out wide. Contact here, though, for third. And they're way off the track. Crashing is Caden Perkins.
It's both the Dente cars.
Oh my gosh. And we're not done up here. Brady Moats to the inside of Cameron Taylor. They're all missing the corner.
Jordan White trying to get back through. He gets into Brady Moats.
Contact between those two. We'll try to get a replay of the Perkins incident here in a moment. But Moats through to second place. How about that? Johnny Wood Jr. has fallen to the back end of the field. There is a lot going on. This could be one of the craziest BRB races ever as Coulter Clark sets sail. Non-stop insanity to get this race started. Let's go back and see that incident out of the S's with Caden Perkins in the number 6. So you've got him. This is into turn 4. He's in the more accurate Carson Hocevar Ride the Dente Chili's machine, if you will. And then Adam Buzzio behind him and another lookalike. And they end up in this together here in a moment.
Oh, there was contact between Stallings and the one. Oh, he sends it in there on Stallings. Spinning, and Stallings comes right back through and takes both of them out.
Wow. I will be so surprised to see if we get penalties. And I'll be very curious to see, I should say, as here's Stallings just low percentage. I'm sorry, at that apex. And Smith paid it right back. He ended up paying the bigger brunt of that, though, and then Stallings ended up taking out the 6 and the 5. And all in that same time,
amount of positions.
There was a problem as well for Johnny Wood Jr. here in the green, number 75. There's Zach Maddox right behind him. Johnny Wood is now the very back end of the field here. I wonder if there was something with a rejoin or what's going on here for the 75 car. Here's the entry to the stadium section. Wolsifer to the inside. Wood late on the brakes. He's got up in the wall and kept it there. The lead, Zach.
Good job by Johnny.
Brendan Maddox on Coulter Clark for the race lead. Turn 1 right here. Maddox goes on through. Coulter Clark will fall back to second.
The guy that I had picked for the stage win is certainly helping me out right now, as Maddox takes the lead over Coulter Clark. And I would just like to say, for the record, that Josh Conover had him picked to win the stage too. Never mind. Josh Conover and I have developed a little bit of a rivalry, a love-hate relationship when it comes to what's going on with the Fantasy Live, and well, I thought I was gonna have a one-up on him over the stage, but I guess not.
That's okay. I've got the top 3 cars right now. I'm feeling pretty good for once. I've got the top 3 cars. I've got Maddox, Clark, and Moats on my fantasy team this week.
I've got Maddox and Moats, but my third pick is Stallings, actually, and he's sitting down in the 6th position.
This is for the race lead still. These are your top 2. Maddox has gotten by the number 4 of Coulter Clark. A little farther back, here's Brady Moats, Jordan White, and Cameron Taylor to complete your top 5. There are battles all throughout the racetrack, though, a little farther back here. How about Richard Wolsifer, Scott Fritz, Evan Patinko? Rusty Rafferty is back here. Let's jump on board with him briefly.
Oh, Patinko!
Good save.
Hangs on to it. How about that?
Zach Maddox pulls up behind the 43. These guys are all over. I love this.
Really starting to see the road racers come out. The road ringers will say. Maddox is a ringer that we tend to see. I would say that Richard Wolsifer is a bit of a road course ringer.
Usually, yeah.
We saw him be pretty fast at Watkins Glen last season, but this is, as we talked about, a new style racetrack for a lot of these guys. They are experiencing it relatively for the first time and finding ways to be fast, to be consistent, while still showing up and showing out. And Wolsifer has just not been able to replicate the pace that we've seen out of him. A little bit of a slide there out of the chicanes, but it's still a long race. We've got 40 laps to go still, and on a normal track, an oval track, we'll say, that would be a short time. But on a road course like this, where they're turning laps a minute and a half long, that's still quite a while.
And here you go, Cameron Taylor working on the back end of Jordan White. This is still 3rd, 4th, and 5th. These guys have calmed down just a little bit. Not a whole lot, though. You see the leaders there in the foreground, and then here comes Moats around the apex there. White in tow. He gives maybe a little shove there to Brady Moats for a moment.
You had to be careful about where he took that run. Otherwise, Cameron Taylor was going to come on in there and try to poke his nose around the back bumper of the 83. Now Brady Moats going defensive, snaking down the front straightaway. Jordan White says, I'm going to try to still take this away from you. He stays to the racing line. He stays around the outside. He throws it into the corner. Did he send it too hard?
No,
maybe,
sir.
maybe not. Brady Moats is still there, but Jordan White now promotes himself up to the 3rd spot. The 44 falls back right behind him. We'll have to see how it rolls going down to the next corner, but White has now got over a car length advantage on the 44.
And jumping back on board, how about driver's side POV? Big send here out of Cameron Taylor to turn 4, and he makes it stick.
How?
He parked it right down on the bottom. That was really impressive. This guy's got some driving chops on him. We didn't know what to expect out of Taylor. Him signing up for this season, sights unseen. He is doing really, really good tonight. This is a whole lot better than I ever expected for the 42. We don't know the guy.
I'm pretty impressed so far myself. Let's remember, too, not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, keep in mind that he was running pretty well at New Hampshire and finding his footing relatively quickly. It's nice to see these guys settle in, find their momentum, see what works, and just all around get it done. As we got one car off.
That's Scott Fritz. That is, looks like turn, right on the exit of the S's. We'll get back going. Let's take a replay and see what happened to him as we hit just about halfway here in stage number 1. Here is Scott Fritz just ahead of Zach Maddox. The left rear just got onto those curbs, Zach, and they chattered, and he wheel hopped a little too far into the corner.
That he did. Certainly not what you want to see.
You can probably hear it here. Give it a second. Yeah. On the curbing for that downshift, that just did not work out.
Great job to keep it off the wall, though.
Brady Moats, Cameron Taylor, they swapped spots for a second. Taylor back on through, Moats back to 5th. Really good stuff so far. I know a lot of guys have been all over, but it has been entertaining at the very least. Here's Wolfsfer. He's gotten ahead of Ben Kinney. And it's still so early, Zach. These guys are doing 45 laps. I mean, we're inside of 40 to go technically for the race, but still a long ways to go. Here's Patinko out into the grass in turn 4, a little wide there. That allows Johnny Wood Jr. to poke through. And, you know, Johnny has been very open about his, I guess, distaste for road courses. I did not think he'd be 19th, though.
Not too bad over the course of the race. He's got a lot of time to make up ground. I didn't know he'd be doing particularly well, I'll say, because Johnny's never really been a road course ringer.
He's skipped a lot of the road course
20.
races before.
Yeah.
Here we go,
Going
Cody
on board
Smith.
with Cody Smith.
Back end
Looking
of
attacking.
Paul Puller. No dice there in turn 1. No, there are some dice. He says Yahtzee and sends it on into the apex. Side by side now through turn 2. This brings Caden Perkins back to it. And it's going to be a 3-car fight as they approach turn number 4. This could be exciting between these 3. Of course, we see Cody Smith in the number 42 on Mondays in the Nora Retro Cup Series. Perkins is going to try to make some starts over there. Buller, we've commentated some races with him.
We have?
You haven't, I have.
Wait, when? When?
Couple of times. You live under a rock. That's just what I've come to learn. you are under
I don't
the
live under a
largest of
rock,
boulders sometimes.
I don't live under a rock. I got stuff to do, man. We're all busy, but Caden Perkins, this is what we want to see. Caden Perkins, as I believe Zachary King put it in the YouTube chat, last race, Caden Perkins winning would feed families, and well, he's doing just that. He is getting himself up inside the top 10. He has yet to record a top 10 finish this season. He was running up front at New Hampshire. Ultimately, it did not fall in his favor. He ended up finishing quite a bit further down, but Caden Perkins showing up and showing out tonight inside the top 10. He was one of the faster guys throughout the practice, throughout the week. Just all around showing some really good consistency. Another driver that we haven't really seen do too well over the last couple of races, Cameron Taylor, floating back to him in that 42 car. Cameron Taylor has not recorded a top 5 or even a top 10 finish since Daytona at the start of the season. Now, mind you, that was only 3 races ago. But we're 3 races further into the season now, and he has yet to record any good finishes. In fact, no finishes inside the top 20.
Look quickly at Rusty Rafferty dropping to the 19th spot. He allows...
Oh, going around!
A bit of wheel spin there over the bumps at turn 3. He'll get that car back going as he had just lost the 18th spot to Johnny Wood Jr. Battle here, Zach Maddox, Gray Walker. How about Ben Kinney right behind them? Jacob Quayle in the distance. And Zach, look at this. Jordan White has somehow caught Coulter Clark. 6 laps to go in stage number 1. What can these two do?
Jordan's got some pace here. Catching a toe from Coulter Clark. How hard does Jordan White throw it into the corner? He's on the back bumper. He's sending it, but he's staying in line.
It's too early to do anything rash. Still 6 laps to go on the stage. He's got time, right? Work him, wear him. wear him down. Still plenty of time here on the stage, and then you got this battle back here, 5th and 6th. Now, the stage will pay points to the entire top 10. Of course, 10 down to 1 from 1st down to 10th. So these guys are well within stage point territory. I can't imagine they would get too rowdy for these spots, but you never know. This is still what I have my eyes on right now. These two, for a little bit of context, Zach, they are teammates at Whiplash Racing over in the All-American Racing Network, but they are not teammates here in BRB. But again, there were some feelings, we'll say, last night. Whoa, Maddox, the leader!
Maddox!
Wow! What the heck happened there? Car 23 and the 88. Don't tell me that was a lapped car getting Maddox. Let's go back and catch the replay as that. Oh, it was. And it's going to be now a battle between Clark and White for the lead. But this is what just happened to our race leader. Maddox to the inside, and he straight lined it. That is not on Dakota Bly at all. Maddox absolutely blew that himself. I'm sorry, Zach, but I mean, that was... He had the idea to go to the inside of the lap car, but he straight lined. He absolutely missed the braking point.
Just went straight on, completely missed the apex. That's not what you want to see.
Well, it is if you're these two. They are catching William Maple Jr., by the way, so some lap traffic up the road for these guys as Eric Jensen is around into the stadium section. There comes Scott Fritz to try and pass him. And he
Remind
will.
me of stage again.
15.
It's like it's 5 laps for Brendan Maddox to find 4.5 seconds. Oh my goodness.
And he's now back there with Brady Motes, so that's making things interesting. That's now a line of Maddox, Motes, and Stallings. And Stallings might actually have something here into the stadium, and yes, he will. Maybe. Motes, the late breaker. He will lose that spot, though, eventually.
And Kimber Taylor also trying to fight it out with Jordan White. They got a little squirrely with William Maple Jr. There was a tiny bit of a lockup there from Kimber Taylor, but all still works. Everything is still in running order. We are still clean and green, and Jordan White is still trying to track down as much as he can Coulter Clark as they roll down the front straightaway.
Into turn 1. Here comes Jordan White to the inside. This might be too early. Locks up, and he's out of here. Taylor not able to capitalize just yet. Maybe, though, on exit. Not quite. So the GTM 83 just heated up those tires big time. We're seeing some pit stops, Zach. These guys might not be able to go the distance, or Motes might be giving up stage points here to get this stop done early. He's not the only one. Cody Smith is also in. How about Jake Christenberry in? So a handful of drivers here pitting early before the end of this first stage. I'm not sure I like that call personally. I think stage points are just too valuable right now. It's early in the season. Get all you can in the stage. I personally would never do that. But I'm not them.
It's a tough call as Jordan White has caught back up to Coulter Clark. Runs wide there. Gets back in line as they roll through the stadium section. Coulter Clark just seems to be rolling that stadium section a lot better than Jordan White, as Cameron Taylor now has really reeled in that 83 car. Those tires are super heated, but through the final corner of the stadium section, Jordan White seems to get quite a bit more of a run, and now down the front straightaway, he is lined up ready to fire at Coulter Clark one more time. Down to turn 1, what's it going to be?
No move. I think that's smart.
Well, he thought better of it this time.
I think that's really, really smart. Wait, cool those tires back down. Wait for a better opportunity. And Taylor, man, he's waiting in the wings. He could easily win this stage if these two ahead get to playing around just a little bit too much. So it's still early here in the
wow.
race. 3 laps to go the last time by the flag stand here in stage number 1. The final car in stage points currently is Richard Walsifer. There he is. Ahead of him, you'll find Carl Pooler, Adam Buzzio, Caden Perkins, and Stephen Borbell, the back half of the top 10 currently. And ahead of them, you'll find Dustin Stallings, Brendan Maddox, Cameron Taylor, Jordan White, and Coulter Clark in ascending order. There are some fights a little behind these guys. Zach Maddox, Johnny Wood Jr., and Jacob Quayle. But for second, here we go. Taylor to the inside. White gives it to him, trying to cross him back up. A shove there at the apex. No dice.
That's created some serious separation between them and Coulter Clark, and now they're going to have to try to find a way to fight it back. 0.8 of a second the gap between second and first. Cameron Taylor now dropping further and further back behind the 4 car. They're going to have a little bit of a tow, just a little bit. Jordan White's going to try to get it back. I think the smart option would just be push him down the front straightaway. No, to the inside. Going to try to dive it in, locks it up a little bit, slides. Jordan White gets the position, but Cameron Taylor's right back to the left to the right. Contact for second. This is just allowing Coulter Clark to run away with the stage win.
That it is. A little bit of door banging there. Jordan on the back bumper of Cameron Taylor a little bit to turn 4. Careful with that. And these guys are approaching the lap traffic of Eric Jensen and Jamie Plord. White back to the inside briefly, trying to cross the 42 up. And look at Maddox and Stallings. They're closing in.
So I was going to say, this fight is allowing them to close that gap, especially side by side through the S's. They're going so slow through a high-speed section of the racetrack. Jordan White gets back to the left-hand side to driver's left of the 42. And what's it going to be down into the stadium section? How is this going to play out? Little tight. Taylor slides. White runs wide. They'll still be side by side going through the final corner.
Not done just yet between these two here on lap 14, and it has allowed Maddox and Stallings to catch right up. They are now 4 seconds behind Coulter Clark. And here we go, final lap of stage number 1. This is the fight currently for second. You see the run that Jordan got out of the final corner. It's a 4-car fight for second. White has got the position down the front straightaway. Turn 1 coming up. Taylor trying to get back at him. This could be hectic. Big braking zone. Taylor back through. White parks it, trying to cross him back up. And there you see Clark has gotten by Eric Jensen. Plord is still up the road. They might get there, and here comes Maddox to the inside of Jordan White. This could be fun to turn 4.
They lost a total of 3 seconds to Coulter Clark just from all of this fighting. Brendan Maddox throws it down to the inside. Jordan White turns in on him. Loses ground. Now they're side by side for the second spot. Cameron Taylor gets clear. Jordan White back to the bumper of Brendan Maddox. Here comes Dustin Stallings into the mix. And as the fight goes on, rolling into the stadium section is Coulter Clark, and it looks like he'll have no competition for the stage win.
He's got a little bit farther to go. You see the lap traffic now of Eric Jensen just ahead of these guys for second. Maddox backing up a little bit. There's the caution. I think that was thrown early to allow these guys to pick up the pace car, so stage 1 is over. Admittedly, I didn't expect it to come out that early in the lap, but Coulter Clark will win stage number 1, and that allows these guys to, again, pick up the safety car without too much issue, and that will save a lap for these guys. There might have still been some fighting for second, third, fourth, and fifth, but the stage win was certainly decided. Coulter Clark, to back up his 2 wins at Dover and New Hampshire, gets a stage win here at Mexico.
An unexpected stage win, I'll say, because we all expected Brendan Maddox to be that stage 1 winner with how far of a lead he had over the rest of the drivers, but...
I mean, I expected Mason Houseman, so speak for yourself.
Well, lap 1 certainly took that out of your contention, but Coulter Clark is going to be your stage 1 winner.
Well, we'll talk to him here in a moment. Actually, I think we'll talk to him before we even get to the pit stops here. since we've got so much time, and that'll allow us to talk to somebody else even at the back end of this caution. We'll give you until these guys hit pit lane to make your final votes for the MX Wraps Best in Show vote. A little more time to do so. There's a clear leader right now, Zach, but anything could change. So again, make your votes. Make them now for that MX Wraps Best in Show vote over on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, get over to YouTube at least briefly. Again, the options are Jourdain White in the 83. There he is. Also, the 56 of Richard Wolsifer. There he is in his Cinco de Mayo special. How about the 43 of Rusty Rafferty in that Rick Wilson throwback? And then Zach Maddox in the number 14. While you make your final votes, we'll dial up the Stage 1 winner here, Coulter Clark. This is going to be 10 big points for him to start the night off. Let's bring him down if we can. And see what the already two-time winner on the season has to say as he gets ready to make a pit stop here at Coulter. That was a really, really exciting first stage. What was that like from the driver's seat?
Oh, you know, just trying to stay as calm as I can. Honestly, I felt like Brennan really was going to go get it, but he made a mistake into 11 and just kind of looped it, and I just went through, and Cam did a great job to keep Jourdain under pressure, and that just allowed me to pull away.
Of course, we would expect you guys to get 4 tires and fuel. We'll find out in a second, but what's the approach like going into the longer stage here? 30 laps, of course, with some caution laps. It's a much longer haul than what you guys just did.
Yeah, just going to try and stay as consistent as we can, you know, minimize the mistakes. But really just, you know, stay calm, cool, and just try and recreate it.
Hey, best of luck to you, Coulter. 2 wins already on the season. A lot of guys are looking to you as to what's going to happen next year this season. Congratulations on the stage win. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Already a big start to the season for that Coulter guy. He has just been dominating. Jourdain White missed his box. Zach, did you see that?
I did. He is going to lose some spots here.
I think Coulter, he took 4. I'm sorry, I was mistaken there for a second. And yeah, Jourdain falling back big time. A handful of guys, I think, taking... No, they're all taking 4. I think we're just getting some guys taking damage repairs. That's going to shake things up big time. And Jourdain White will exit the pit lane in 10th. This promotes Cody Smith and Jake Christenberry to the top 2 positions. Brady Motes, by the way, he has revisited the pit lane. There's the number 44, so his early success has come unraveled entirely. Now I want to go back and we look at a wall there briefly. I want to see what happened to the 81 of Evan Patinko. He is in the pit lane with a whole bunch of damage. This is, I think, after the worst of it already. Let's go back just a little bit farther. Oh, hello.
Oh.
That seems like it was just...
Around.
That seems like it was just the least of his worries, and he already had a lot of damage. Let's see if we can find where this starts for him. He's already in the pit lane here. There's a few laps earlier. Boy, I don't know how far we're going to have to go to find the source of this issue for Evan. But I think Coulter, or not Coulter, I think Carl Pooler is going to be feeling pretty good about his bracket matchup here, Zach.
I would assume so. I think there's a lot of bracket matchups that are getting shaken up and shipped around. Let's... Actually, now that you bring up the bracket brawl, as we take a look... ran
there
into...
it is.
99 of Jensen spinning around.
Yeah, Jensen spun around into turn 11, and Patinko had nowhere to go. That's what did all the damage to his car. Wow. All right.
I want to say, you bringing up the bracket brawl has made me want to go look at everything now. So, let me see if I have the matchups pulled up correctly. Oh, baby. Okay, so...
Well, I'll tell you what, before you hit that, let's go hit Jourdain White quickly for the MX Rap's Best in Show vote. Of course, he has won this thing. I mean, I think that was a given with all the fans out here from GTM this evening. So the Grand Touring Masters number 83 Toyota Camry has won that MX Rap's Best in Show vote. Hey, he's got some fans behind it that like the paint scheme and want to support him, so props to him. And I see some conversation as well in the YouTube chat here quickly, Zach, about the top two that have stayed out under this caution. They pitted at the back end of stage 1. If you recall, I was calling out some of those drivers that were pitting there, and I was confused by it. These are a couple of guys that did it. Cody Smith and Jake Christenberry. They are teammates over at Dark Star Garage. But as these guys make one more lap around the racetrack, Zach, who you got for the matchups?
I'm sorry, say that again? Race control was talking over you. I couldn't hear you.
Who you got for the matchups?
For the matchups. So, we've got Evan Batinko, Carl Pooler. We obviously talked about that one already. Gray Walker, Cody Dorsey is one fight. I believe Cody Dorsey is here tonight, isn't he? Yes, he is.
No.
No. Okay, so that one's going to get decided pretty quickly. Matchups, otherwise, you've got Dakota Bly and Jake Christenberry. Christenberry is up in the second spot right now. Jordan White and Cody Smith. Cody Smith is leading, so that would put Jordan White on the back burner for that one. Caden Perkins and Joshua Parent. That one's going to get decided pretty quickly because Parent is not here. Then you've got Ford and Moats. Let's see, actually. Ford is over Moats. So there's quite a few matchups to go over, but we do not have the time for that as we're getting ready to go green.
Yeah, Moats was that driver that I mentioned him pitting at the back end there of stage 1. I mean, I thought he had a run for top 3, if not a stage win. I'm still so shocked that he pitted early there, and it looks like it put him in the riffraff at the back, and he picked up some damage that he wanted to repair out of this caution. I mean, he tossed away the stage points and put himself in a worse spot, and now he's 19th coming to the green. And I mean, this is one of our guys at Whiplash Racing. You know, this is one of our drivers, Zach. I think that was a foolish strategy, personally. But I mean,
there's a couple of interesting bracket brawls, I'll say. The one that I'm paying the most attention to is Brendan Maddox and Richard Wolsifer, because we are 2 weeks removed from their little spat that happened at New Hampshire. Obviously, Brendan Maddox has been doing a really good job so far today, but he is a little bit further back after this caution flag, and he is now a few spots behind Richard Wolsifer. Wolsifer up into the top 10, a little further up into the top 10. Maddox outside the top 10. So there's some spats that are going to keep going on throughout the field, and then 4 free spots, Coulter Clark, or 3 free spots, Coulter Clark, Johnny Wood Jr., and Dustin Stallings. They will all each be advancing as they did not have enough drivers to add in to the bracket brawl.
Here we go. Restart on the way. Cody Smith, Jake Christenberry, your front row. Cameron Taylor, Coulter Clark, row number 2. Stephen Borbell, Caden Perkins, Carl Pooler, Adam Buzzio, Jordan White, Richard Wolsifer. The entire field has been reshuffled, and we're ready for Stage 2 racing at the Whiplash Simcams Grand Prix de Mexico. Racing once again at Mexico City. Let's hold our breath.
Turn 1's going to be a doozy.
Look at that 3-4 wide, White through the middle.
Clark just blew his engine. Coulter Clark just blew his engine.
No way.
He downshifted too early. I heard it come off the record. Oh no!
Wow. How about that?
I hated to talk
winner?
over you there, Andrew, but like, what the heck? Did that clip? Tell me my microphone clipped.
No, it came through that time.
Let's go.
Return 4 off the restart. It's slow. Carl Pooler way out wide. Pooler went way out there, and they're mixing things up. 4 wide back here. Everybody, hang on. Get what you can get. Moats is on through to 12th. It is crazy back here. There's Rafferty through to 14th. This is a beautiful shot of them all trying to navigate the S's here. First lap of the restart, but up front.
Oh, we got one car going around.
That's Stallings implored back there. We'll get a recap after the race start completes. To the inside for the race lead. Cameron Taylor through on Cody Smith. Not quite clear yet, Zach. A little bit of contact even. And now Smith is in
he
deep.
runs wide.
Way deep, and that holds up White. That allows Taylor to go through, and Cameron Taylor's now uncontested for the lead.
Jordan White just about bullied Cody Smith off the final corner. Caden Perkins is coming into the mix. He's up into the top 5. Stephen Borbell behind him. Christenberry, Maddox, Walker, Pooler, and Moats, your top 10. You talked about Moats having a bit of a hard time with starting a little bit further back, but now he's up in the top 10 once again. Smith deep down into turn number 1. He gets a little wiggle of the rear end, but he's going to hang on over Jordan White through the chicane. Caden Perkins is going to make it 3 wide.
We can't leave this just yet, but we'll get a replay of the restart when the time is right. White, Smith, Perkins, 3 wide, turn 4 coming up. This could be really, really hectic. Smith in deep. He's going to get moved around, and that pulls the 83 back. The 1 falls back to 5th, now 6th, as Brendan Maddox fills that gap. It is gloves off racing here in Mexico. I mean, this is amazing.
I love what we're seeing so far. This is awesome stuff. Obviously not the Rex, but like, this is awesome stuff.
Heck, even the Rex. I'm not enjoying it for their sake, but as far as TV side goes, it's been exciting here this evening. I mean, this needs to be in the rotation now, if not every season, every other season. This has been a fantastic night. I know the drivers are going to hate it, and typically those are the best races, Zach.
Ooh, Brendan Maddox is stuffing it in there on Cody Smith. It was a big pinch right there. Ooh, muscles him a little bit. Cody Smith tapped the bumpers with Brendan Maddox, and that's going to put him into the tire barrier. Gets a really big shakeup, and the Dark Star Garage number 1 is going to fall into the clutches of his 11-car teammate of Christenberry. That's going to have Walker, Pooler, and Moats right behind them. It's a big line of cars going down into turn number 1, and Maddox, one of the fastest in stage number 1, mistakes were made, and he's trying to make up for it. Gray Walker to the inside, turn number 1.
Walker pulls up to the inside of Christenberry. I don't want to lose sight of that restart, Zach, so you keep watching these guys. I'm going to go back. Let's look at the replay of that restart when we got the green. Here's all the way back to the beginning. Turn 1 coming up. Let's ride first on board with the number 4, and let's just listen in. Here's the restart. A little bit late. Waiting on it, waiting on it, waiting on it. There's the green. Listen. Just listen. Grenaded it.
Just downshifted too early.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was too early or too many gears down. It might have been an issue with the shifter itself, but regardless, I mean, that's his race done.
That's going to be a big heap of points right there, and saw a lot of cars scramble to make sure they did not hit him. And then going up into the next corner is when things started to get a little hairy, as Jake Christenberry just almost went around. We'll come back to that shortly.
Well, here's Pooler. Pooler goes way out into the grass, so there was mix-up behind him. Oh my gosh, you see the chaos behind all of that. Pooler just, I think, missed the corner at turn 4. Let's go back a little bit and see that into the corner. And then we'll quickly switch back to the 5 and 56. So watch Pooler, the purple and white car. He's just deep, and then watch the 5 and 56. Wow. I don't know if Wolsifer started that, but he was certainly involved in it. Another look at it into turn 4. So the 5, there he is, right center of your screen. Wolsifer does a big block into the corner and just backs it in. Wheel hops as he was blocking the heck out of Maddox. You see him all scramble and spread trying to get through. Scattered, smothered, and covered Waffle House style down in turn 4. And then as they snake through the S's a little bit more, I'm not sure where else there were issues on the restart exactly. There was so much going on. I think that's the meat and potatoes of it. But there is one more thing that I know the people want in this case, and that's going to be the run for Jourdain down the front stretch. Let's get that, and then we're back to live picture. Here it is. This was pretty impressive. He nailed this restart.
You see them trying to go 3 wide in front. He sticks it through the middle, and Coulter Clark, losing his motor, just kind of helped out, all things considered. See Clark right down to the bottom. There's the grenade. Wow, what a send by Jordan White. How about that, the Jamaican sensation?
That was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie.
Well, what has been pretty impressive so far as we come back to live picture is there has just been no contest for Cameron Taylor at the moment. He set the fastest lap of the race not too long ago. Jordan White beat him to the top of the scoring pylon, though, on fastest lap. And Taylor has just been sight sets forward. He is out and away gone from the rest of the field. 2 seconds in front of Caden Perkins. How about that? Two drivers that haven't really recorded top 10 since Daytona. Caden Perkins, not a single top 10 to his name at the moment. And then it's White, Borbell, Maddox, who you're seeing on your screen now. And then actually
Cody
Maddox got in
Smith
front of Borbell.
Yeah, we see that there. Cody Smith, 6th, Brady Moats, Gray Walker, Carl Pooler, Jake Christenberry, the top 10. Problems again for Wolsifer. And Johnny Wood Jr. is destroyed.
Johnny Jr. No front bumper on that 75 machine.
Got a modified roaming the course here. Let's see what happened. I think he and his teammate Wolsifer may have had the same incident. I think it's connected here. So check this out. Wolsifer in the black, white, and multicolored 56 up here. This is the run down to turn number 4. Sideways again on braking. That has been his trouble spot all day. And his teammate...
Johnny ran right into him.
Just couldn't avoid.
Too deep on the brakes and then a car spinning in front of you. It was just a recipe for disaster at that point. And there was probably no intent for Johnny to run into him. He probably just missed his braking zone here.
He just got in a little bit deep to begin with. He was trying to save it and then just was trying to keep it on the racetrack at the same time. Ends up clobbering his teammate there, and that's his race. I mean, he's still going at it, but the right front is towed completely out. I think
at that point,
bent.
He should have stayed with the mistake, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, and just got off track.
Turn left. You saw him turn left and then go right back to the right into Wolsifer. I think Johnny should have just gone straight, and it would have saved him. This is a battle up front, though. That's Christenberry and Buzzio. This is the fight for the top 10. Buzzio started 9th. He's looking to gain some spots back. That brings Scott Fritz into the mix since they had to check up a little bit more before they went into the S's.
Oh,
Christenberry!
That'll wake you up. Maybe a Murtis Mega Miss there from Adam Buzzio.
I was going to say, that's a nomination right there for Murtis Esports, Murtis Mega Miss of the race. Not too many that you can really nominate just because it's a full course, not a full course, a sector yellow type race. There you go.
That was close, certainly, for Buzzio. That puts him up into the 10th spot, ahead of Christenberry, Fritz, and Quayle. Here we go. Battle for second. White back on Perkins here.
White. Big throw down to the inside, and White's going to get it up to the second spot. He is quickly running after Cameron Taylor, that 83 car, currently with the fastest lap of the race. We'll have to see what he has in store for Cameron Taylor as the race goes on. Next time by the flag stand, it will be 20 laps to go. We are past the halfway mark in this race, so...
That's good. At least if we get rain, it's official.
These guys don't have rain yet.
Some of the viewers don't know that. All right, let's see what happened here. Jamie Plord is in the pit lane. He just towed to the pits, actually. So let's see what happened to the 38 car. Loose there out of, I think that was turn 9 or 10, and just, into the barriers, and he has called it a day. How does that impact his matchup, Zach? I heard you call out him in a matchup with someone a little while ago. What does that change?
Well, looking back at the bracket brawl lineup, Jamie Plord himself was in a matchup with Brady Moats, and currently Brady Moats is sitting in the 7th position as it runs, so he's definitely got a bit locked up now if Jamie Plord has called it a night. Other notable matchups that we can look at as well. William Maple Jr. and Adam Buzzio. William Maple Jr. is a considerable margin down at the moment. He is 4 laps down, pretty much out of contention for this race. So that's going to be a done deal for Adam Buzzio to move on. Brendan Maddox and Richard Wolsifer, that matchup still going on. Ben Kinney and Scott Fritz. That's a matchup we can look at as well. Cameron Taylor and Kevin Baumler. That's going to be an easily decided matchup as Cameron Taylor is leading the race and Kevin Baumler has elected not to join us tonight. And this is Dustin Stallings into the pit lane. First one to start taking green flag stops.
Yeah, this is interesting. This tells me these guys can go about 20 on a tank. If he's coming in here, there's no way Stallings is going to put himself in a bad spot strategy-wise, right? So this is an undercut to get tires on the car a little bit earlier. We heard Mason Houseman say earlier as well that tires will matter tonight, so these better tires early, that'll be nice for a little while. He might gain a couple of spots, but that's going to hurt him later in the race when those tires wear out. Meanwhile, Carl Pooler, Adam Buzzio battle 9th and 10th. See Fritz and Quayle actually back here as well. They're having a little fight.
Yeah, it's more notable, I'll say, for Buzzio and Pooler as they both run wide in front of Fritz. Just listening in to driver radio, Carl Pooler apparently put the tire barrier. Not sure what lap it happened on, but he was talking and communicating to Adam to just say, hey, I'm just trying to survive. He clipped the tire barrier and it's causing him a little bit of issues. Let's see where his wheel's at down the front straightaway. Well, it's straight, so maybe no wheel damage, but
straight-ish. It's slightly, I mean, it's like 11:45, if that makes sense. Like, it's barely off to the left side. Honestly, arrow-wise, he's got a better looking car right now than Buzzio does. I think he's going to be okay. Just buckle down, keep at it, Carl. Yeah, Buzzio took a look there at turn 1. So, looking over myself, obviously, you mentioned Coulter Clark. He's got the free ride into round 2. He was up against nobody as there was a shortage of drivers who committed to race tonight. A few of the full-timers not able to do so. Evan Patinko versus Carl Pooler. That should go Carl Pooler's way as Patinko is down 9 laps in the 25th spot. As there you see Buzzio trying to get by Pooler. Gray Walker, Cody Dorsey. Gray should move on. Well, yeah, Cody's not here. Dakota Bly versus Jake Christenberry. Christenberry definitely looking better right now than Bly as Dakota is down in 20th. And there's pass complete for Buzzio for 9th.
Maybe not yet.
Then
ran a little wide. Carl Pooler.
Yeah, it's not quite done. We'll keep watching this. I want to go through all the matchups, at least as they stand now. And obviously this can change as Pooler gets in deep. He's going to turn to 5. Oh, that was great avoidance. Christenberry getting on through, getting some more gap back to Bly for his matchup. That's stuff that he'll need as Pooler gets down out of the way. He realizes he messed up there, gives the spot up to Buzzio. It's not really... I mean, it's kind of too little too late. He already kind of moved him out of the way. But anyways, let's take a look at the leaders as well as they're within 1 second of one another. And Borbell hits the pit lane. But continuing on through the bracket quickly. Jordan White, Cody Smith. They are actually close on the racetrack. White running 2nd, Smith running 6th. Keep an eye on that. Perkins and Parrott. Perkins will move on. Parrott's not here. Plord and Moats. Moats should move on. Plord is out of the race. Rafferty versus Maddox. That is actually interesting. Rafferty is 14th, and Zach Maddox, that's who that is against. Zach Maddox is down in 17th. That actually is a fun battle to watch. So keep an eye on that. Dustin Stallings is advanced, as well as Johnny Wood Jr. They have bye rounds effectively. Ben Kinney versus Scott Fritz. Ben is in the 15th spot. Fritz is 8th, so Fritz currently would move on. Brendan Maddox, Richard Wolsifer. I mean, Brendan is 4th, and Wolsifer is... Oh, shoot, where is he at this point? 18th. Down to the next matchup. Adam Buzzio will definitely move on over William Maple at this point. Williams out of the race. Actually, he's back in, but Buzzio is up in the top 10. Ronnie Norman not here tonight, actually, so he will lose out to Eric Jensen. Jacob Quayle versus Stephen Borbell. Quayle currently has the leg up, but Borbell did just pit. Cameron Taylor versus Kevin Baumler. Taylor will move on. Baumler not here tonight. So, that's how your bracket stands currently, Zach. But as we approach pit stops, Jordan White is not far back. He is stalking that Alaskan Brewing Company number 42. And if we want to look at last laps for these guys, let's go ahead and do that. Let's pull up our handy-dandy lap comparator here. Cameron Taylor last lap, a 132.646. White just a tenth and a half slower.
Still holding the fastest lap, though, over Cameron Taylor, so we know White has pace. It's just a matter of being able to execute said pace. I'm hearing driver radio calling something going on the front stretch at the moment. Not sure what it could be.
I don't see anybody stopped.
Oh, Zach Maddox has a bunch of front end damage.
I did see him slow, but he wasn't stopped, so I wasn't really sure what was going on there. And
Oh, he's
yeah,
spun.
that's a lot of damage. We'll get a look back at this for Zach Maddox. This, again, is a pretty interesting matchup with him and Rusty Rafferty. This is going to be out of the final corner, just got loose. He already had front-end damage. Let's see, did that happen down in the stadium? No, that's been that way for a little while, Zach, but Jordan White is in the pit lane, and this is interesting for this lead battle. There's White into the box. 4 tires and fuel. Should get back out around the 10th spot. Scott Fritz is in as well here on this lap. He will pit there in the number 48. White gets back onto the racetrack. He is going to merge right here with Johnny Wood Jr. Johnny goes by, but I certainly think that Jordan can run him back down. Here comes Evan Batinko as well. Scott Fritz is in the pit lane. He seems to have taken fuel only, Zach. That is a bold move.
I was going to say, I want to see what happens when these guys take fuel only. I want to see where it evens out to, and we'll have to wait and see how it works out. For Scott Fritz, as Ben Kinney is in the pit lane in that Pit Stop TV racing machine. He is also with the Whiplash Racing Group, so we'll have to see what he does. Fuel only for the 41 as Cameron Taylor rips through the final quarter of the stadium section. He is still staying out on the racetrack. Keep in mind, these guys pitted around lap 16, lap 17, so they are still good for a number of laps, but a lot of these guys might just be thinking, why not split the stage and see how that works out for them.
Battle deep in the field, Dustin Stallings and Richard Wolsifer. This is down to turn 4 currently, as Moats, Smith, and it looks like just those two will pit. Contact there, Stallings gives a shot to Wolsifer. So keep that in mind, the 44 and the 1 just pitted smack in the middle of this stage. Anything beyond here, you're pitting late. Here comes Stallings. He's already made his stop, as has Richard. Big defense there from Wolsifer. Stallings will move on by.
Wolsifer looking back to the left, trying to stay in it. It's not going to work out. Dustin Stallings keeps a hold of the spot. Now just waiting to see how this plays out for Dustin Stallings, because keep in mind, if you look a little bit further up, just a little bit further up, you will find Fritz and Borbell in front of Stallings, and Fritz opted not to take tires. Remember that. He's 10 seconds up the road from Dustin Stallings.
Rafferty working off the pit lane.
I was about to say, we've got our first black flag of the race.
Who would that be for?
Cody Smith.
Oh. Too fast exiting?
And he, yep, speeding on pit road. And he's in the 6th position right now, so that's going to promote Adam Buzzio, Christenberry, Pooler, Wood, White, all these guys that just hit the pit lane. They're pretty much going to get a free spot out of it.
Cody Smith, of course, running. Oh, Brady Modes! Wow! That was spectacular, but he hangs on to it.
Did he keep it off the wall?
He did. He did. Let's go back and see that. That was incredible. Here we go. Here's the onboard. Driver's eye POV. Wow. He just kissed it, Zach. Just kissed it.
What a wheel man. What a wheel man.
Here's a look from the drones. Love all the cameras we have here at Mexico with Whiplash SimCams. I have put many, many minutes and even some hours into these cameras for moments like that. What a catch for Brady Motes. Glad he was able to just keep it straight. I mean, yeah, he hit the wall technically, but did he really though? He'll go by Patinko here to turn 4, and obviously that not for position as Patinko is going to go back off the track a little bit. Cameron Taylor hitting the pit lane, Zach. This is important. Our race leader hitting the pits just inside of 15 to go. Who will follow? Perkins and Maddox did not. Walker, it seems, will not. A little ways back to Buzzio and others, but Taylor right into his box, right on the line. See what the call is. It looks like he's not going for any tires. It's a lot of fuel.
It's an interesting call.
That took enough time to be 4 tires, though. Hang on. I just didn't see the car move much. Is the suspension just that stiff?
No, he didn't take tires.
Huh.
Well, that was a long time to be in the box, especially since
for fuel only.
He wasn't low enough. He was not low enough on fuel for that long of a fuel-only stop.
Back at the live picture.
And he's out behind Jordan White.
That's an effective lead change. We'll get to that in a moment. There is Pooler working off the pit lane. He has taken fuel only. So as I mentioned, effective lead change here with Jordan White passing Cameron Taylor through the pit stops. GTM crew, rise up. Jordan's got to be feeling pretty good having that 42 in his rear view right now. They've both made their final stop to the end of this race.
Maddox into the pit lane. Perkins stays out to hold the lead, but Maddox is in. And I'm looking further on Cameron Taylor. He's got left front damage for some reason. Not sure what that may be, but let's keep an eye out. What does Maddox do? How does he respond to Cameron Taylor, who is currently into the stadium section? Maddox still in the box. He's got the wheel pointed, ready to go. He's out and away. Fuel only. Cameron Taylor is out of the final corner. Maddox exits. He's going to exit in front of Jordan White. Brendan Maddox out in front to run down the one.
There he goes. White just hit the fastest lap of the race, Zach, and that catapults him right up to the 4th spot, but effectively in the race lead. Maddox exits right behind the 83. White seems to have taken 4 tires. Along with Taylor, Maddox did not take tires. Stallings just had a moment. He cuts some racetrack. He's getting back after behind Cody Smith. It's starting to get exciting again. Carl Pooler, trouble! Let's see what happened first. I want to see the 00. Oh, well, there's Pooler in the background there. Yes. So that's behind Stallings. Here's Stallings into the stadium section. We'll catch back up on Pooler in a second. Watch the 00 as their contact. Absolutely. Smith just barreled right through his left rear. And that stopped them both up.
That's what you hate to see right there.
But you know what? They have history from stage 1. Stallings got into Smith. Smith then sent it on Stallings, and that's a continuation of it. Here's the 71, Carl Pooler. Perkins is now in, by the way. We'll catch up on that in a second. I mean, Carl just got loose. That seems like a lot to tow from. Did he get hit here?
He's out of the race. Carl's out of the race.
He must have had something else happen.
Caden Perkins is your race leader still. He just came out of the pit lane well in front of Jordan White.
Here's the issue for Carl. Absolutely missed the stadium entry. Here we go, back up to the leaders. There's a lot happening here. Caden Perkins does have the lead into turn 1. Not by a whole lot. Jordan White, Brendan Maddox right behind. We are busy, that's for sure. 10 laps to go next time by Zach, and it's just about time to set our favorites for North American Racing League Driver of the Day. Start thinking about it. We're right on the edge of it, as there are your top 3 through turn number 4. Gray Walker yet to pit. That'll be one of the final dominoes to fall. We could have a first-time winner here.
Wait just a minute. Carl Puller's out of the race. If Evan Patinko stays on the racetrack, he will win the Bracket Brawl Challenge over Carl Puller.
Hey, that could be a big change-up. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on that as these final 11 laps run down, but for now, here's your top 3. Taylor not far back. White takes a look there at the apex. This time by, it'll be 10 laps to go. Call it about 24 miles of racing. And we know how determined these top 2 are. Both still winless in this series. Well, Gray Walker, he's technically still leading this thing. He's yet to make his final stop. So you're going to see the ticker, right? And you're going to see Walker on top. You're going to see the picture here in a second, and we're going to be talking about Perkins, White, and Maddox. Forget about the 18 for now. He may still be near these guys, but he has not made his final stop, and actually looking at the delta, Zach, he'll be way behind him. So this is your effective battle for the win in 10 more laps. Perkins, White, both of them winless in their BRB careers, as well as 4th place, Cameron Taylor, and effective 5th place, Brady Motes. Brady's too far back, though. It's this top 4, unless something very dramatic happens. Maddox is the only of these 4 that has any wins. He still wants to get in victory lane to start this season off. We're still early. It's only race 4 of a 13-race regular season. And how about Perkins getting out wide through the S's?
Little slip up right there for the 6 car. White right on the back bumper. Gets a little wiggle. Brendan Maddox slides on through for the 2nd spot. How about that one, ladies and gentlemen?
Not done. Entry to the stadium section. Here we go. From the fan cam, just for Brendan.
A little wide right there for Perkins. Maddox trying to pull a crossover move on Jordan White, but White slides back through for the 2nd spot. That's promoted Cameron Taylor a few tenths of a second closer, but Caden Perkins is extending that race lead ever so slightly off of the final corner. At the line, it is the difference of between Jordan White and Caden Perkins as Gray Walker is pitted 6 tenths of a second. Separates those drivers.
Here they go down to turn number 1. 9 laps to go now. Agonizingly slow progress made right now. I mean, it's just part of it. It's road course racing, right? Like, you see that low number of laps to go, but you know it's still quite a while on the racetrack.
Dustin Stallings is around in front of Johnny Wood Jr. going into the stadium section. Contact with Richard Wolsifer.
That's not their first incident.
That's not the first
night.
time. Ah.
Stealing words from each other. Let's go back and look at it. Yeah, well, never mind. Never mind. Jordan White to the inside ear of Caden Perkins. This is too good to leave right now, Zach, for the lead. Caden Perkins, Jordan White. How about Cameron Taylor? He's caught up in 4th. Brendan Maddox is 3rd. Here's the onboard of Maddox.
Gotta go defensive here. Perkins to the middle, White looking low. Here's the move to the right-hand side. Perkins covers him off nicely, keeps the lead. Jordan White's going to try to throw it, but Brendan Maddox has made the move to the inside of White.
No dice.
This is too good. Cameron Taylor now looking on to try and take the 3rd spot away from Brendan Maddox. And Perkins with that much of a bigger lead over Jordan White as they roll down the front straightaway. Ben Kinney's about to be in the way of these leaders.
He'll stay out of the way. He drives through the grass to do it. Hey, that'll cool the tires down a bit.
Oh no, Evan Patinko has removed himself from the race, so Carl Puller will effectively hang on to that BRB bracket brawl spot.
Getting down
We're
to the
giving
final
updates
laps.
out the wazoo. We haven't even picked our driver of the day yet.
I was going to say, you're on the floor, Zach. Who you got? We'll alternate. You do one, I'll do one. You do one, I'll do one. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Adam Buzzio because I told him that I would campaign in his name as the race for the lead is currently heating up. But the leader is who I'm going to take my first pick to. It's Caden Perkins. He's done an absolute stand-up job to put himself in a race-winning position. He lost the lead.
Jourdain White goes on through a big changing of the guard there at the top end of the scoring pylon. The Jamaican sensation right on through as Caden Perkins is hanging on for dear life. Keep in mind, Zach, Jourdain's got tires. Perkins and Maddox do not.
Oh, a little bit of a nose chop right there on Maddox from Perkins. Big slide going into the stadium section. That's going to cut off a little bit momentum from Brendan Maddox's racing machine, but he is still going strong. They are all still so close to each other. White runs wide in the final corner. Perkins gets a slip up. That's going to let Jourdain White drive it off of the corner, but don't look now because they are all still sitting in each other's draft, and Perkins could easily come back into this one.
My first nomination. You took Caden Perkins, right? Is that confirmed?
I did take Caden Perkins with an honorable mention to Adam Buzzio. Love you, number 5, but I gotta nominate one of these guys.
My first nomination here will be that 4th place driver, Cameron Taylor. I'm torn between he and Brady Motes, because Brady has certainly surpassed my expectations as well. Started 8th place this evening, has been as high as 3rd. He's currently 5th after setting himself as low as 20th by pit choice. I'm impressed by Brady, but I'm even more impressed by Cameron Taylor. This is just not what I expected out of the 42 car here this evening. And he actually just went by Brendan Maddox for 3rd. How about that?
That he did. Brendan Maddox had a bit of a slip up, and that allowed that 42 car to ride away as Jourdain White is just scooting away from the rest of these guys right now. Caden Perkins still holding on to the 2nd spot is what we still like to see as well. Here comes Cameron Taylor, though.
Who you got? Other driver of the day.
Oh, man. You took Cameron Taylor for your first pick, correct?
That's right.
I know that you're probably going to pick him, so I'm going to leave him for you, but I'm going to take Brendan Maddox in that number 23 car. I feel like this top 4 is where we're going to keep our picks, so I'm going with Brendan Maddox. He's done an absolute stand-up job to continue executing after his mistake early in stage 1 that took him out of contention for the stage win, but here he is still in the 4th spot, still trying to fight these guys to get a top 3, get on the podium here at Mexico, and he is doing just that with staying on the bumper of Cameron Taylor, or at least within a couple car lengths, as Jourdain White is running away.
There's Maddox. You see his stats there, bottom of the screen, as Taylor sends it up underneath Perkins a little bit. And yeah, I guess I'll take the leftovers of the top 4. I'll go ahead and grab Jourdain White. I actually didn't initially. I was going to go for Taylor and Maddox, assuming you would go for White, but if you're going to leave him, I guess I'll take him. So that'll be our 4 for driver of the day here today, as Taylor and Maddox are moving around a little bit. They're in 3rd and 4th. They're trying to find a way by this 6 car. I think they feel as they've got a chance to get up to Jourdain and still beat him for this race win. But with that 6 car in the way, that's just never going to happen.
Well, if they want to go up there and get the win, they have to go and do it now. They're running out of time. It's going to be 5 laps to go when we click on by the flag stand. They have very little time left. 1.5 minutes is the average. Well, 1 minute and 32, we'll say. So 5 laps, 1.5 minutes, that's what? 3, 6, plus 8 seconds, about 3 minutes and 6 seconds as Rusty Rafferty moves out of the way for these guys. Yeah, about 3 minutes, 6 seconds is what they've got left to overall to go up there and get him. Well, no, hold on.
Zach, forget the math. 5 laps to go. Here we go. How many more shots can Taylor take at this number 6 of Perkins? You see Rafferty there in the background. As you mentioned, he's a lap down. Motes, Borbell, Walker, Buzzio, Christomary, and Fritz fill out your top 10. Bumper to bumper there, turn 1. Taylor a little bit squirrely over the curbing. These guys are just all over the anti-cut tonight. I can't blame them, though. The car can handle it. May as well use it.
Now, if we were in a low-riding Formula 1 car, those things would bounce and have 2 tires off the ground over those anti-cut bumps, but no dice for these ARCA-style race cars. And we haven't even brought up the graphic of the ARCA car that we have used on broadcasts previously, but these cars have pretty stiff suspension for a race car, we'll say, but they can really take these bumps. They can really find their footing to make it work, and These top four, they are just all out right now, going on by Eric Jensen right there. Cameron Taylor going defensive into the stadium section as Perkins continues to hang on to that second spot. He's over the rumble strip.
Oh,
And
Caden
sliding,
Perkins!
stepping out. Oh, is he going to save it?
He gives up second. Here comes third.
Brendan Maddox to the inside.
He'll lose third, I think, too. A little bit of contact there right at the apex of turn 14, and sure enough, Caden Perkins out of the way. Brendan Maddox rolls on through. The top three now all Toyotas. The problem, Zach, is Taylor is now 3 seconds behind Jordan White with 4 laps to go. I don't think he's going to run him down.
Quali lap time. Rip quali laps as Jordan White misses the apex in turn number 1. He's got 2 lap cars right up the road in front of him. That is going to be Dakota Bly and William Maple Jr. Bly just let Maple go, so they're not really fighting too hard up the road. Bly 2 laps down, looking to go 3. Maple 7 down, looking to go 8. Time is a ticking, Andrew.
Anything can still happen here at the top 3, even 4. Nothing is guaranteed currently, but it certainly is looking good for Jordan White. He's just got to manage this traffic. The problem is, Zach, he's young, right? And he has definitely been aggressive in his time here in the series. I'm not saying anybody's going to hold him up or anything, but he doesn't always make friends. And Maple's around here in front of him. Pick the right spot. He goes left, but that's going to hold him up a little bit. And that brings Cameron Taylor closer.
Taylor's closed in a lot.
That gap has come down halfway. 50% loss of gap between these two in just a lap on the racetrack. That can't be sustained. Jordan's got to find something here and manage these lap cars a little better. Obviously, that was out of his control with Williams spinning ahead of him, but he's got to find a way to just manage that gap a little better. He is pulling a little bit of time down the front stretch. It's back up to 1.9, nearly 2 seconds. 3 laps to go here in Mexico City.
Brendan Maddox did not close any time realistically on those two. 3.3 seconds is the gap from the 23 to the 83. Trying to find some footing, seeing what can be done to catch Jordan White. It's going to be popsicle sticks in the air the next time by the flag stand for Jordan White. It is a clean racetrack in front of him as they run down into the hairpin before they start the S's. The next car up the road from Jordan White is actually Dustin Stallings, Maverick Motorsports teammate to Brendan Maddox in the 3rd spot. Stallings has had an abysmal race. He was up in the top 10. He was doing so well early on, and multiple incidents have compounded, preventing that 00 from moving further forward. He's got Jacob Quayle right up the road in front of him, but it's going to be a lot to go up there and get him. But they're still well in front of Jordan White, so it's more than likely not going to have any effect on his race.
To just
Through
quickly
the stadium
look,
section he goes.
as we approach 2 laps to go here, to look at lap times. Here's your top 4. Jordan White last lap, 1:33.482. It's going to change here in a second. Taylor was a couple of tenths faster. See, Maddox's time, he was even faster than both of them. Rather, no, he was a second off. The other direction. That time, White faster than Taylor? No, the time changed. I just don't think there's enough time for Cameron to get back there. Not without a lap car getting in the way.
2/10 of a second.
But when you've got 2 seconds to make up in 2 more laps, that's not enough.
Not unless Jordan White makes a mistake. And not to play devil's advocate here, but we've seen Jordan step on himself a little bit, we'll say. Notably, I think back to Atlanta last season when he was in the process of trying to make the chase. He was on the bubble and had the advantage to make the chase, and he ended up wrecking under caution and pretty much took himself out of the race. Now, granted, there were some drivers that had to elect of removing themselves from the chase due to competing in the eNASCAR qualifying series, but Jordan, nonetheless, at that time, had made the mistake and taken himself out. So I think what's going through his head is just hit your marks, be mistake-free, find your footing and keep yourself in this race, because they are rolling through the stadium section, Andrew, and as they roll out of the final corner, it is going to be the white flag in the air presented by Whiplash Simcams one more time around, and Cameron Taylor has knocked down a huge margin.
But Jourdain's been really good off of 15 all race long. There's the white flag by Barney the Flagman. One more time around. 2.42 miles as Taylor sets the fastest lap of the race at 132.029. Final time here at Mexico City. Can Jourdain White finally get a race win? Can it be Cameron Taylor? What about Maddox? What about Perkins? We're going to find out.
Within a second of the race lead, Cameron Taylor, he is hunting down Jourdain White, trying his hardest, giving his all, seeing where he can put that race car to catch that 83. If he runs another lap like he did last, he is going to catch Jourdain White.
Oh, lock up there. He got in too deep, locked up the right front, did Cameron Taylor. That's going to hold him back, heat up that right front tire. I don't think he's going to get there now, Zach. Not without some kind of mistake for the 83. Final little run back around to the stripe, though, down to the stadium section and the back around town. Can the 42 get there? There is a slow car on the racetrack. I don't know if it's in the way of these guys. One last-ditch effort. Can Cameron Taylor get to Jourdain White? They're each going for their very first win in BRB. Big send! Taylor right into the 83. It's going to be a drag race back around. Maddox is trying to get there. Who's going to have it? White pays it back. Taylor's checked up. Maddox is checked up. What is happening? There's Perkins coming on around. Can Cameron Taylor get back to the stripe? He will. Cameron Taylor, in a set of controversial circumstances, will get the win for now here at Mexico City.
Aiden Perkins ends up grabbing second after it's all said and done.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I do not expect that. Well, certainly that won't be popular among certain crowds. I will be shocked if that stands.
I don't know what to say.
And Taylor's down here on the front stretch.
The only thing I can say is be glad you're not listening to driver radio right now.
Oh, and Wolsifer gives a tag there to Smith. I think he's going to let Smith get it back rolling. Maybe. These guys still try to fight to the line. Quayle, Johnny Wood, Dustin Stallings. Cody Smith gets back ahead of Wolfsburg. He lets him have it back. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. Let's get a look back at the replay. I'm trying to save comment. I know how I feel currently, Zach, but I want to see what happened again before saying too much. I can tell you that was spectacular, potentially for all the wrong reasons.
I've been replaying it on my own set of cameras. Before we even got the chance to take a look at it, here you see into the stadium section. Right here is the send. Jourdain was going into the corner. He checked up a little early to try and cover off the spot. And, oh man, he paid it back at the wrong time to Cameron Taylor. Now, Taylor was trying to go for a hole that he saw open up so quickly. Jourdain tried to cover it off best he could. That's where the early braking came into play, but Cameron had already decided that he was going to go for it. There it is. You could say that Jourdain moved under braking, but they were both just right there at that same time. And I want to say that it could have been a little bit cleaner there. If we're going off of road racing rules, Jourdain was off the racing surface and should have relegated that position to Cameron Taylor and let race control decide whether or not they were going to take the spot away from Taylor. I think coming back on the racetrack right there might have been a bit of a mistake from Jourdain.
Well, so we see the move into the corner, and man, I want to be a NASCAR fan, but that
Gotta
ain't
take
it.
road racing rules into play.
I mean, not necessarily even that. That ain't it. I don't feel good about that at all, personally.
And Cameron Taylor narrowly missed.
Well, so hang on. So here's
the tire barrier too.
So obviously the send there, Cameron's in the wrong. Jourdain comes back. I gotta see the wheel input. I know Brendan's mad, but frankly, dude, you cannot be mad at Jourdain when he just got sent from zip codes back.
I think what Maddox is upset about.
Well, so hang on, let's
would
watch
potentially
this. So here's
Fair.
Jourdain. I want to see his steering wheel input here. I mean, he was just trying to get back around the corner. He just got sent out of his first win from miles back. That leaves a really poor taste in my mouth.
Look at the RPMs though.
They both have a
Jourdain.
chance. So, I mean, there's a lot to go through. Let's back this up one more time. We might do it a few more times. I don't know. So Cameron, I mean, Jourdain was always there. Cameron sends it in. They're both going for their first win. I get it. Even here, like, Jourdain was just trying to get back at it, and then the wheels were still spinning. I don't know. My instinct, Zach, is to penalize the 42. Obviously, I don't get that choice, and I want to hear what you have to think on this particular side of it. The 42's bump really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't see anything wrong with Jourdain after the fact. He's just trying to race back to the line, and the emotion, I mean, the adrenaline has got to be sky high, and from watching the steering wheel, I don't think he did anything wrong, personally.
Just a hard thing to call at that point. It's not much else that can be said now.
I am very curious to see how this is going to be ruled. I almost don't want to talk to any driver until we know what's going to happen here. And I mean, Cameron, you got to anticipate that he's going to try to be defensive there, right? I mean, let's be honest, he drove straight through him. So I see some requests for different things in the YouTube chat. I mean, what view are you guys wanting to see? That's the send out of Cameron Taylor. I feel like we've watched every inch of this at this point, Zach. I just want to know if there's going to be a penalty out of this.
I've heard nothing yet.
And I mean, I get why Maddox is frustrated. I think maybe the frustration is placed in the wrong place, because frankly, if this doesn't even happen, right, Brendan comes home third no matter what. Instead, he's trying to get back around here and just, oh boy. I don't really know how to feel here at all. This is just calamity. And unfortunately, it's kind of a stain on a really good race otherwise. Okay, I see what guys are talking about now. I'm so flustered, Zach. I'm still trying to figure out what people want, but I see now. Robert Moyer is actually... Listen to the engine, listen to the RPM, Zach. In the gas. pretty late. How do you feel in all of this? I mean, I am just blown away.
I don't know what to say at this point.
I am blown away. We might have to have an extra poll, fair or foul. All right, I think I've got an opinion here, Zach. We'll see if it's controversial or not. The 83, Jordan White, he's got the lead. He knows Cameron's approaching. He's going to take the defensive line here at the apex, as is his prerogative. And Taylor just runs smack through him. At this point, they're both just trying to get back to the flag based on the steering wheel input we saw from the 83. I'm going to be real with you, Zach. I don't know if I'm the 42 there. I don't know if I can celebrate that, personally. But we have a plan to stall just a little bit and see if there's any word here, as White did go up, and oh, some extracurricular after the fact. Let's see how this goes. I don't think Brady Motes was trying to get running Maddox there, but then... I'm gonna be real, Zach. This is where I stand. If I just did all that in the stadium section, I'm certainly not gonna go and do donuts.
There were a couple of drivers just getting together after the flag. Jordan White was paying a little visit, I'll say, to Cameron Taylor, and then everything just kind of went downhill from there.
Well, here's what we can do. While we wait on if there's any official word, we can go back and take a look. What we didn't do at all tonight, somehow, was take a look at point standings, I believe. So let's do that first, coming into the night, because this will give us some context now that we've seen the race take place, and at least we'll kind of get an idea of where guys might be going into Texas next week. So these are the points coming into tonight. Obviously, this has now completely changed. Coulter Clark obviously had the points lead, 2 wins. You kind of get the idea of who's in, who's out. Dyer missed tonight, though. Kristen Berry finished 10th. Norman missed tonight. So those are some guys that are in. Conover missed tonight as well. Those are some guys that are in. They're going to fall out, I think. Parrott missed tonight. He was close to the cut line. Maddox finished well, so he should move up. Clank missed. Plord was here, didn't finish well. Fritz did all right. Taylor won the race tentatively. You know what? Forget this graphic. It's too early in the season. Forget it. Let's look at unofficial, very unofficial race results, Zach. Here's Cameron Taylor with the win. I'll be curious to hear from the top 3. Caden Perkins goes 2nd. We actually won't be able to talk to Perkins. Jordan White goes 3rd. Brendan Maddox 4th. Brady Motes top 5. That's awesome. Stephen Borbell 6th. Gray Walker, Adam Buzzio, Scott Fritz, Jake Christenberry, your top 10.
Rolling outside the top 10, you'll find Johnny Wood Jr., who probably is going to be licking his chops a little bit for an 11th place finish on the night, because he certainly didn't have the race running for him at all, especially with no nose on that race car. Jacob Quayle was a bit of a surprise as well. He started a little bit further down the running order, ended up finishing 12th after starting 26th. So a net gain of 14 spots. That's a really good job. Wasn't expecting that. I'll say a bit of a sleeper pick in terms of fantasy. Nobody had picked him, though, so maybe should have considered it. Dustin Stallings was someone I had on my fantasy lineup. Ends up finishing in the 13th spot after getting in multiple collisions, we'll say, with a couple of cars behind him, which were Cody Smith and Richard Wolsifer in the 14th and 15th position. And then the first car one lap down is going to be Rusty Rafferty in that 43 car, with Ben Kinney finishing one lap down behind him in the 17th spot. And then you have Zach Maddox, Dakota Bly, and Eric Jensen to round out 2, 3, and 4 laps down in the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th place positions. Only 6 cars left after that. Not a very big field tonight.
And there they are. William Maple Jr., 21st. Carl Pooler out early, 22nd. He'll still move on. Look at that. Over Evan Patinko in the bracket. Jamie Plord, Coulter Clark, Mason Houseman in the back end of the field. We've received some word, Zach, from Race Control as to results with the end of the race. Would you like to announce what we've been informed of?
Well, as it goes for what we saw at the end of the race, looks like no positions at the moment will be changed, but they are reviewing that little end kerfuffle, we'll call what was the end of the race. But as they said, expect no change in position at this time. I want to preface that with saying that is all just a hypothetical. Well, not a hypothetical, a big fat question mark, or a maybe, we'll say, because we've seen it time and time again that Race Control can make one call before going back and reviewing it further, and then take that call back and replace it with one they feel is more official for the decision. But if I were to give my straight up opinion now, and this is not me speaking as a broadcaster, this is me speaking as a driver, and I'm going to say, for starters, this is fully opinion based, not something you want to do as a broadcaster, not something you want to do in terms of an unbiased position, but this is an opinion that I'm going to give. I think that race overall, the end of that race, was as straight up as it could possibly be. Call it as you will. I think Cameron Taylor probably would have earned that race win. It was a bit of a shove fest, I'll say, but I think at the end of the day that Cameron Taylor might have just been able to walk away with that win, and should have, after he worked that gap down. And I feel for Jourdain White, because, he is still looking for his first win. He is trying hard as he may to get it done. I've had communication with him through Murtis Esports as giving him development help, and he's come to me asking questions before, and I again feel for him as much as I possibly can. But I think in the terms of a straight up grudge match, Cameron Taylor probably would have had that race won, just in the overall pace that we saw out of him in the last 2 laps.
So we'll talk to a couple of drivers here in a second, but I want to watch both end cars. Here's Cameron Taylor's first. I just want to sit back and watch one more time. We've had some time to sit and think and talk. So the argument from Taylor now is that he feels Jourdain moved in the braking zone. Okay,
he's not the only one.
We'll let that stand for now. Let's go back. So that's the in car from the 42. Let's see it now from the 83. I went a little far back here, so give me a moment to adjust and fast forward back up to the stadium section. Here we go. This is the run from 10 down to 11. And I guess we'll watch the bumper here first, but then watch the wheel. Okay. It's sent. Watch it after the fact. He turns around right. I mean, he flicked back for a second maybe, but I personally don't see enough to say there was any kind of intent to get back into the 42 any more than just to maybe rub him, which frankly, after getting hit the way he did, I don't think that's a problem at all. So let's go back to the initial contact here and hear the 42's argument. He says Jourdain moved. I don't see it, Zach. If anything, what I see, and I'm going to slow this down, and obviously that'll give you a side here. Let's bring this back up. I think what Cameron is seeing as moving, all right, watch this in slow-mo. Jourdain is angled out to the outside of the racetrack and then turns. That's not a turn under braking. That's just a turn into the corner. With how shallow he is going into the corner, and obviously he's got to defend, otherwise we see what's going to happen to him anyways. That, to me, Zach, is just turning into the corner. And yeah, all of it is an odd place. You can't compare the last lap for your first win, heads up, you know, bumper tap. You can't compare your driving line and turn-in point to the previous 44 laps. I digress. Let's hear your side.
So, if we can back the train up just a little bit, going into entry of the corner and take a look at Jourdain's onboard one more time, that's what I really want to point out with. So, if we could slow it down past the apex right here, so everyone had been cutting that apex right there, everyone had been running wide, this is what I really want to look at. Now, at this point, Jourdain's seeing in his mirror that the move is coming, and that's the turn in right there that I think everyone is calling out the moving under braking. Now, I know what you said, that it's not moving under braking per se, it's going to entry of the corner. Everyone had been running out wide to take that corner, and Jourdain entered from the middle to the left side of the racetrack. Now, again, he has to defend. So I don't really see any ill will, which is why I say that Cameron Taylor did a NASCAR-style move and moved him out of the way. Now, this is Jourdain going through this next apex, and up until the contact, his RPMs were going up. You could see it on his onboard, his RPMs were going up, so he was staying in the gas while off the racetrack, and that's where I find Jourdain to be in the wrong in a way, because he's still gassing it up while he's off the racing surface. Now, he's going for the win. You have to try to keep your spot, obviously, but with the straight line of that apex, he's not going to make it without getting into Cameron Taylor, who is running his line to force the 83 off the racetrack still. It's a very gray area, I'll say, because right there's the contact. Taylor's running wide.
When we saw the wheel, he let out maybe a hair,
right.
But yeah, he was always turning to the right.
And then right here,
I mean,
that's the other thing.
He just got sent out of the way for his first win. I can't fault him there.
I can't necessarily fault him either, but this is one of the reasons that I'm assuming that Brendan Maddox is a little irritated, and that's reason number 2 right there.
Sure, be frustrated, but have some sympathy for the guy getting completely shipped out of the way for his win. I just, really quick, if I may interject for a moment, and by all means afterwards go for it. I want to come back to this, and I want to pose a question to everybody watching. Whether you're in the booth with me or watching, whether you're in Discord, YouTube, I don't care. I want to pose a question. Do we want to normalize this send out of the 42 just because we feel the 83 might have turned in a little bit awkwardly? Do we want to normalize this? Because watching the momentum, the inertia that carries the 42, I mean, I know he's on the brakes, the rear wheels are locked there for a second, he still never was going to make it. Like, do we want to normalize that because we want to nitpick the way the 83 entered the corner when he knows a bump is coming? It's his first win, for gosh sakes. Do we want to normalize that move just because the 83 went defensive? I don't think so.
I don't think we want to normalize the move just because the 83 went defensive. I think the move has just been normalized overall. And this is, in a way, breaking the fourth wall. But we have seen on video games, on the sim, even in real life, the newer generation of drivers have adopted the mentality of, well, let's just go up there and elbows out all the time, and if we have to pass the guy, and we can't do it cleanly, then we'll wreck him. Now, I'm not saying Cameron Taylor tried to pass with the intent of wrecking him or in any sort of way, but the newer generation style of racing has just been muscles out. Get him out of the way by any means necessary. And you and I have been noticing that firsthand since we are involved a lot when it comes to the short tracks, obviously we've got Cookout Summer Shootout coming up, and there's no other place rather than there that we've seen guys just get elbows out to muscle drivers out of the way. So I just think the newer generation style of racing has taken over.
Well, let's go ahead and get through this show. We've been talking for a long time. Let's bring in race winner Cameron Taylor. And Cameron, we have talked a whole lot, and it's about time to give you your piece. I think you know the questions, so just go ahead.
I mean, in my point of view, as it happened, I just feel like as I'm coming through the corner, I see him moving towards the right to go towards the outside. I expected him to defend a little bit or whatever, but the fact remains, in the moment his wheel's turning right, he's going towards like the open up the corner. I take my opportunity to move to the inside, and as I'm like mid-move, I feel like he tried coming back over to try to keep me from doing that, and I mean that's that. I mean, I don't feel any ill will towards him for what happened after. I mean, I still think he's a good dude. I mean, it's just, you know, everything happens quickly, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I can make an argument for both of us. You know, I mean, both of us clearly could have done different things. I mean, you know what I mean? Just the nature of racing. But, yeah, I mean, but other than the obvious, though, I mean, I don't know how everybody, like, I don't know what the popular opinion is going to be about, like, the end or whatever. But, I mean, as far as, like, the rest of the race goes, because there was a whole other, 44 laps or whatever. I felt like ran a good race. I felt like I had some good pace. I mean, I'm good with the road courses. Jourdain and I had a really good battle in the at the end of stage 1. Thought that went really well. Yeah, it's just both of us really wanted to win. Clearly, I mean, there's not too much else to say about at least that end portion. But yeah.
Definitely a hectic race, I think, all throughout, not just that last lap, but the 44 prior as well. We have an extra road course, and I know you're a rookie here, so you don't really know the 2 road course vibe versus the 3 road course vibe, but we have 3 this season as opposed to 2, and it's only a couple of weeks away. So is the road course scene where you're going to be the best, or can we see you up front on some ovals too?
Probably not on ovals. I mean, I've come from like just racing like sports cars and stuff like that. I mean, before I got my computer back in like December for like I was like a console racer, so I've done a lot of like F1 and like ACC on there in leagues. And I mean, Brendan Maddox and I have known each other for a long time, so that's my background in racing. Is not too much ovals. I mean, I've done a little bit on the console side, but it's definitely more road course stuff. Like, that's definitely my forte.
Now, of course, moving forward from here, honestly, I don't know what I'm kind of like you. I don't know what the popular opinion is. I think you and I probably have differing opinions. That's okay. I do want to stress, I think that's okay. We can all have different opinions and still talk about it. But as a driver, right, the next few races, Texas next up, Daytona road course, how do you move forward knowing that there might be at least one, if not a handful of guys out there that maybe don't see that incident the same way? Do you expect to have to look over your shoulder at all? I mean, in your position, I guess, what do you expect next?
I mean, as far as like what comes next, I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't expect to be like fighting at the top or anything like that or whatever. I mean, the guys that might be a little upset or whatever are probably going to be a little bit faster than me at ovals in general. I'm probably like a mid to like back midfield driver at like some of the, but I'd say probably most of the ovals or whatever, unless it's like, you know, I don't know, say like not a lot of like lifting involved, then I could probably like find myself like pack racing. That's probably what the best way of putting it. Tracks that are more like pack racing, I could find myself a little higher up. But if it's just like, if it's a really technical like oval, then I'm probably not going to be the greatest. I'm not going to be there for, unfortunately, Daytona road course or Indianapolis, going back home for the Indy 500. But I'll be there at Texas, that's for sure.
Well, Karen, eyes out for you. That is a 4th straight win for Toyota and a first for you. So you've got that first one in the win column. Congratulations. I know there's going to be a lot of opinions about it, but at least as of right now, you're the race winner. Congrats.
Yep, thank you. And yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how the next few races go. I mean, I'm not gonna like treat any different. I mean, I don't see anybody like as like an enemy or anything like that. I mean, I'm a pretty easygoing dude. It's kind of hard to upset me. So I mean, even if people are like, you know, saying some, you know, less than colorful words or whatever towards me, I take it on the chin. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I like that. Congrats, Cameron Taylor, and we'll move on down. We won't be getting second place tonight. Caden Perkins, not able to talk to us. I've got Cameron Taylor on the brain, but Zach, I can bring you, well, I guess we can bring you somebody. Hang on. How about Jordan White?
Third place finisher on the night, Jordan White. Well, I feel like you already know what I'm going to say, Jordan. So, first win, right there, 2 corners away. How you feeling?
I worked harder than anyone for that win. And I just want to say that the labs of practice that I put into it and the strategy, I literally had that strategy pre-planned. Undercut the 44, don't battle him, right? Because I know how much time you lose battling. And I play that to a T. I didn't expect the move from Caden and Brendan to take no tires, but still, I got past him clean. And the 44, I feel like we've been kind of friends since I've been talking to him the last couple of days, especially practicing for this race. And then for that to beat away, because I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to win in BRB again. And that should have been the first one, and I feel like I did everything right. And it sucks that it was taken away like that, and I hope he's happy that that's the way he wanted.
Obviously, emotions are running a little high, and I would like to say to you, from a driver-to-driver perspective at least, don't think that that's going to be your last chance at a race win. There's always going to be other races. There's always going to be a time to try and figure it out one more time, and it's a long season, so keep your head up. I know you really wanted to grab that win, but let's float back a little bit to the positives. You ran up front most of the race. Obviously, your teammate Mason Houseman had a little bit of an issue lap 1 that gave you a bit more of an advantage, and then Coulter Clark obviously having the problems as well. Kept you in relatively top contention to grab this race win, but ultimately you're still walking out of here with a top 3. Does that at least give you some sort of positive that it's going to be a good points boost for you, especially with good stage points and a good race finish?
It's a good points day, but I still don't have the chance to say I want to be a B race yet, so it's whatever. And I'm in the chase, but I mean, I don't think I'll necessarily be racing for a championship, so if I make the chase, so what? I would just like to maybe win 1, maybe even 2 if I'm that lucky. And it was just taken away, but Texas is next week. Think I'll be good there, and then we got Daytona RC coming up, so maybe I can redeem myself there.
There's always chances and opportunities, but you did put in one heck of a performance today. Congratulations on that second place finish. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again over the next few races here as we roll into the summer months.
Yep. Thank you, Zach. Thanks, Andrew. I hope the show was pretty good outside of that last lap. Thank you to MX Raps. Thank you Premier Racing Setups. Thank you GTM. Those guys are huge fans of BRB, and they expect me to run up front, and I was trying to also win it for them, as I mentioned it on the ARN race that the game's shutting down, and I really like that game and it's pretty fun. So it sucks that it might get shut down. So as that, thank you Pit Stop TV. You guys have done a lot for me and Whiplash Sim Camps. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Usually I like to talk about these guys, Andrew, having being very content with their finishes, but obviously you hear Jourdain a little under the weather when it comes to how that finish transpired, and I can't blame him for feeling that way.
There's a lot. I'll tell you what we can do, Zach. We can look at what's coming up next. Not just for us here at Bits.tv, but for the league. First up, for us here at the channel, it's off to Road America in a couple of days. We have tomorrow evening off as the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series has postponed their race that was scheduled for tomorrow at Kokomo. That's now scheduled sometime in September. Instead, we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday on top. Road America GT3 car is going to be a lot of fun. That's the pro drivers over in NARL. And then we've got the Steering Wheel Nation Truck Series at Charlotte on Friday, followed by the All-American Racing Network with a special event on Saturday. That's a charity event in benefit of breast cancer awareness. Legend cars, ARCA cars, and trucks all at Charlotte Motor Speedway that evening. Going to be a lot of fun. And Zach, looking forward on the schedule, I know Cameron maybe doesn't feel the greatest necessarily about some of these races coming up, but he's got the win, at least as of right now. I don't know if anything's going to change. I'm saying unofficially because I honestly don't know what happens next for any of these guys. But there you see the full schedule for this season. Next up for these guys, Texas, then Daytona Road Course, Indianapolis, so on and so forth. There's a lot of feelings, and I think there's going to be no shortage of feelings and opinions and whatnot for days to come. Honestly, I think we'll still be talking about this when we get to Texas next week.
We'll be talking about this for quite a few races over the course of the season. The ripple effects that we'll be feeling are massive. I will say. I don't know what else to say because there's just so much that can be taken away from this race. And going into the second road course only 2 weeks later, it's going to create some interesting circumstances, to say the least. There are going to be some off weeks as well coming up. You've got an off week between Iowa and Rockingham, so that's going to create some circumstances, and I don't know what to say. It's gonna be an interesting one, to say the least. It's gonna be interesting. Indy is gonna be a pretty wild race, I'll say. We'll be stepping away Rockingham through Sonoma.
Yep.
So we'll be missing a good portion, but up to that point, we're gonna see some knuckles out racing, I'll say, from these guys. I think enemies and friends were made today.
That's putting it lightly. That's putting it lightly.
Well, I'm more of an optimist. I try to be.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of feelings. Again, I think we'll be talking about it as we get to Texas next week. But I think we've done about all the talking we can. I just want to appreciate everybody with the series. I know tonight, again, everybody's going to have an opinion on it. That's just how it goes. But a big thank you to the BRB Sundance Pro Series, as well as Sundance Pizza, MX Wraps, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business. The fact of the matter is, Zach, without all of these partners on the left side of the screen, none of this is possible. We aren't even talking about this, and therefore, I'm thankful to each of these groups, partners, people, whatever. And a big thank you as well to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MX Wraps, ATVO, Murder Esports, CC's Business, North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. And don't think we've forgotten about that Driver of the Day vote. We have just finalized it. And, I mean, me personally, like I said, we're all allowed an opinion. Me personally, this makes me feel better. That Jourdain is going to actually get this Driver of the Day vote win. I mean, it's not the race win, it's not the points back, but that's how I feel.
Call it a good consolation prize.
Yeah, and you know, fact of the matter is, he still got third place. So, as we exit Mexico City this evening, again, thank you so much for watching. This is going to be a difficult one to digest, but again, thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure as always. This has been Pit Stop TV. We'll see you all in the next one. That's going to be, hopefully, you'll join us Thursday evening for North American Racing League action in GT3 cars NARL. Or sorry, I wrote America. See, I'm so flustered. Otherwise, we'll see you all next time. BRB, Texas next week. We'll see you then.